Hey, episode 100 of our podcast. That's insane. Obviously, there are way more people here than normal. There's usually just 3 people.
Yeah, normally there's like this many.
Yeah. But I have the max that I can have on StreamYard, so I actually got a notification saying there's someone trying to get into the studio, and it was Dillon. Dillon was trying to get in the studio.
That's funny.
Yeah, you guys all on time and stuff? What's going on?
Yeah. God forbid indie comics people are professional, huh?
Cool. So we can do little intros, and then we can get into whatever we're going to talk about. Yeah. So we'll start off with Dwayne, and then we'll go, down the line.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Dwayne Robinson Jr. I am the owner and artist of Animation Comics and Entertainment LLC from Brooklyn, New York, and I like long walks. And now I'm done.
Are we just going like?
Yeah. Just keep going from Dwayne on.
I'm Dillon.
There you go. That's a good intro.
It says, yeah, right there. All right, Sebastian, all you.
Hey, so I'm Sebastian Chow from London, UK. All-round comic creator, so I draw, I write, trying to learn to color as well and letter. And yeah, I've just self-published the one comic for now and looking to do some more. So that's me.
It's just me. Hey, my name is Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. I am a writer, artist, creator, publisher, I guess you could say. I also run my own podcast called the Four Tales Podcast.
What's up? I'm Chuck Pino, Bonfire Press. I'm a writer, editor, publisher, author.
I'm Joseph Lewis at Heresy Studios. I'm a writer and creator. We have a comic on Kickstarter right now. www.208tales.com.
I'm Ed from Shades of Vengeance /SUV Comics. I'm a writer. I guess I'm now a letterer officially as well. And I've published. Nope, it's that side. All of this stuff behind me. That's all stuff I've published. We also have an active Kickstarter right now. Empowered Volume 2.
Dope. I'm Dustin Burdell. I'm the owner of Ethereal Publications. We are a fairly large up-and-coming comic production company. I'm super glad to be here to support my buddy Greg. So salutations.
Nice.
Cool. I didn't know everybody went through because I'm still trying to message people, be like, wait, there's like.
Missing one person.
Awesome.
Wait, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that.
I'm here at the bottom. All right. I'm Arthur Belfield. I'm a writer, editor. I've been published by Antarctic Press, Second Sight Studios, Avid Comics, Diversity Comics. A lot of different publishers have been blessed with my name on them. I also host a YouTube channel called That Indie Comics Guy, and yeah, let's have fun.
Woo!
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks everybody for coming. There's more people, elsewhere. But for now, yeah. Before we press record, we were talking about shipping and all that stuff. So we don't have to be all depressing.
That's incredibly boring, and we.
Not live.
Nobody wants to.
Let's do your 100th episode on shipping.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah, shippings and logistics.
no.
So you take the comic and you place it into the package.
So I guess what is everybody's favorite process of creating a comic? We could just start, Dwayne, and then go all the way down to Dustin again.
It's always harder when I get that question when you're the kind of the artist and the writer. It's a little complicated to answer, but for me, I
I enjoy having the idea and being able to draw it first, and then looking at that character. Okay, what is this character about? And starting to give it some more protein, as I call it, to make it more of a standout character. I just enjoy the whole process. Really, it's really hard for me to single out anything, but yeah.
I think in comics, especially for a writer, probably one of the best moments is when you get art back, because that's when it's about to be real. You know what I mean? Like, you can write, and we've all written shit that will never be seen by anybody, and you never know when you're writing something if that's the piece that's going to get out or what's going to happen with it. But as soon as that art comes in, the ball game has started, and you feel like you're getting on the field. So that's pretty spectacular part.
Agreed. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when we've sent out our writing to an artist and we're getting those first couple panels drawn up is definitely awesome. I think I still think, even though that part's amazing, my favorite part is getting the colors back, because like you can see it when it's like penciled and sketched, and then you see the inks and you're like, wow, it's really coming to life. But like the second it's colored, you're like, there it is, like that's what it's gonna look like. And even though the letters like give it that fine polish, it's kind of like mastering a song that's already been mixed, right? Like you're getting it ready to be released. It is that like clean polish at the end, right? That's why whether it's that's why lettering is one of those things, like if it's done really well, you don't notice it. It just blends in with the artwork. It's perfect. But like that coloring phase, for me, that's the best. Shout out to February.
Do you write, Dillon?
I basically help Greg with the writing and editing of the comics. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because I think like lettering is so huge for a lot of writers too, because then that's our part being, finally being shown, where we can look and go, yeah, that's the shit I did.
Yeah, that's why I say it's like, if it's done well, like art wise, it should kind of like blend in with this like perfect symphony of art you have in the background. And I'll admit, because like the very first comic that we ever actually printed and released, I did the lettering for it. You can tell. so definitely the lettering is super, super important. But I think like excitement wise, that one of our latest comics, there's an explosion on a building, and I'm like, wow, like he did really good, the artwork for that. And then all of a sudden we see it colored, and I'm like, okay, like yes, that's it right there. Like, so it's like each phase gets a little better and better, which is awesome. But I think the coloring's my favorite.
Actually, I'll be honest. I had a comic recently where, actually, it's not gone to colors yet, but the pencils came in and they were absolutely phenomenal. And then the inks came in, and I'm like, oh, that almost seemed to take away a little bit. So sometimes by defining better, you actually make the overall artwork standard a bit less impressive, I've found.
I think that's why I like when the colors come in, because that is the difference. Like the pencils look gorgeous, the inks you're kind of like, okay, I get like what you're trying to define, but then the colors make the inks make sense. I think that's probably why I like that ink, because I do agree. Like sometimes the pencils are like, whoa, like that's like incredible to see that sketched out, and then when it's like it's fine tuned to the inks, it's like it does feel like the details go away, but it's not really. It's just giving the colorist the palette that they need so that they can actually finish the masterpiece.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit on the opposite side. Like I like more of the inks, maybe because I'm not a colorist, but I always feel that when you put in the inks, it's a little bit more detailed, and then when you put in the color, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So it's like watching something more like in like 1080p, and then you get like the colors, and it just switches it to 4K. It just bumps it up to that really good definition. It really gives you a better understanding of what's going on with the world when you put in a splash of color. Because when I did my first comic, my Nightfall Michael's Awakening series, I started it out in black and white because I wanted to kind of well, there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is because I'm not a colorist, but I wanted to show the world in a different way, to give you maybe more of an understanding of like maybe like a mundane, normal kind of life, and then something happens to the character, and then there's a splash of color. So sometimes I think you can play around with, having inks and colors within the story.
Well, that's stylistically, right? When you go to do something like that, you plan that out. You know what I mean? That's like a type of thing that's, when you move into something like all of our books are different. Like every IP we have is a different style. Like I never want people to look at one book and go, that's the same as the other IP that they put out. It's just a different story. The art's the same. You never want that. So that's a really cool concept of doing things like that. And I'm with you, Dwayne. I think my favorite thing, though, truthfully, when it comes to things, because I write a lot, like a ridiculous amount. And when the kids are in bed, the wife's asleep, I'm in the office, I got the radio going, I'm chilling. It's no light in the entire place. What's going on, Tim? No light in the entire place but the computer screen and, what we're working with. So I think it's that serenity and that peace that I enjoy about creation. You know what I mean? And I know Chuck knows what I'm talking about. It's that moment where it's just you and your creation. I think that's the most powerful moment because you bond with these characters. Like, if you remove them from a series or something, you feel that just like a fan would feel that. You know what I mean? It's a very emotional part of this project, and that's anybody's perspective. That's just mine. I like being there in it. If I'm going to write about a character, I have to put everything I've got into that character because if I'm going to give it to someone to read, they have to be as invested as I am about these characters. If they're not, there's no point in them reading it. You know what I mean? They can just pick it up, put it down. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But now if you give it all you've got and know that you have, like fan art changed my world drastically. I had a guy reach out to me a year and a half ago and it was like, can I do something for the listener? Right? No, man, that's my favorite, that little bit of alone time to sit and write. But I got a piece of fan art for the listener and the guy was like, I don't know that I'm allowed to do this, but I would like to do this. And I was like, yeah, man, it's fan art. Do whatever you want. You're not trying to make a buck off it. And we got it. And it was just like sublime. You know what I mean? It didn't matter how good the art was or anything like that. That was the character that we had created.
It's
and
the fact that someone cares enough about what you've created in
absolutely.
order to,
to take their time, And I try to post them every now and then when we get them. But it's getting to the point where it's like, you don't want to ever be like, hey, look, this one's better than that one because it's all subjective, right? And it's a gift to you. It's a beautiful thing that people are doing. So we try to make sure that we show them as long as the artists are cool with it. About dinosaurs. Is that a play on BGD?
I think so.
Are we talking Babes Going Dinosaurs? We can talk Babes Going Dinosaurs at some point, but right now we're issue 100 of SeerNova, so we're excited.
Yeah, I think my favorite part actually is what Chuck said. It was like when you get the art because it's like Christmas morning and you're like, haha, Nintendo 64. But so
absolutely,
yeah, yeah, because the first time I ever did get it, I was like so excited that I didn't actually care that the artist messed a bunch of stuff up. And Dillon's like, oh, he messed a bunch of stuff up, and I'm like, I don't care. This is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's hard to pick just one moment, but one thing I really like is when somebody actually reads the finished comic who is not on the creative team and actually says something to you about it. Like, I like when they say like, hey, I liked it, didn't like it, whatever. But I really like it when somebody has questions and they want to have a discussion about it, because to me that makes me think that there's something that's thought provoking about this. There's something that makes people think, and I really like that part.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where people are willing to put the time into something you've created. It's sort of it's a similar thing to what was being said about the fan art, just obviously in a different medium. It's I care about your creation, I care about what it is you've done enough to ask you about it or find out more about it, or try to understand more about what you were trying to do with the character or whatever, because I like this book enough to spend my own time on it.
Yeah, I've had that a few times when going to a convention, having someone So it's even shocking when you have someone that's like, oh, I'm not really into comics, and then they'll purchase your comic and they'll read it and they'll come back. That's what happens to me a few times. That they'll come back and ask me questions about, hey man, what's gonna happen to this character? Yo, I like the ending. And just like having a conversation with me, like, man, that's nice to have someone that's not even really into comics that actually is really interested in your story. Because for me personally, I think every story that I do is gonna be great. But to have someone outside of your own little circle tell you that the story is good or the artwork is enjoyable or anything, it just makes you feel good. So that, to me, that's like really important to me.
So fans out there of anyone at all, make sure you say things to creators, because it makes us feel happy.
Pat us on the head, say good job. Go on.
Kyron's got to go real quick. Oh, not real quick. He's got to go because he's got to make breakfast and be a dad and everything. So,
Right on.
All right, man. Hopefully we get to talk. You're still muted.
I'm good. They're just gonna eat Hot Pockets, so.
Oh, okay.
I could be a lazy dad right now.
Well, I haven't had a Hot Pocket in a very long time.
Hot Pocket.
I've never had a Hot Pocket. They're not.
You're not missing anything, really.
So much of a thing. Like, they
If you
are
bake
attainable.
Pocket, you're missing out. Don't put it in
Well,
my face. Put it in the
I've not.
and bake it. It's actually really good.
Don't they make breakfast ones now, or they still just make like the?
Yeah, they make breakfast.
Yeah.
Haven't tried it since they made the breakfast one.
This is actually sponsored by Hot Pockets.
If you actually got this to be sponsored by Hot Pockets, I mean you're making it big time.
Yeah, right.
Big things, man. Big things.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan and Hot Pockets.
That's right. Absolutely.
My character is in a Hot Pocket. Send it to him.
Jesus.
Comics and tattoos.
So going hand in hand with that, I'm covered in tattoos, like head to toe in tattoos, and I think it's funny that comes up, and it comes up a lot, right? That's not something that's, even if you're an artist that has no tattoos, I've been at shows with people that are on our team, and folks come up and they're like, "Hey, will you draw tattoos for us?" You know what I mean? And it's cool. It's like a commission thing, anything else, right? But it's different styles. You can't just walk up to an artist that doesn't do tattoos and be like, "Hey, is this going to work?" Because you got to think about dimensions. You got to think about placement. You can't just ask folks to tattoo you. Like I said, I'm covered in tattoos, and I'm not going to go up to an artist of mine and be like, "Hey, can you draw me a tattoo?" Especially not in person. You know what I mean? Because now you're like, well, where do you want it? How do you want it to fit? How's it going to look? They don't know how your skin's going to react. They don't know how, the freckles or the moles or whatever else you have on your body are going to affect what you're doing. But I love it. I think they go hand in hand like peas and carrots, to be honest with you, because of the fact that it's the creation, the aspect of what you're doing with any sort of art. You're telling a story, So yes, if you look at the listener, the first 3 issues of the listener plus Gee's journal all were done by a tattoo artist, cover art for the first cover A's for all those books. And because she's tattooed almost 80% of my body, you know what I mean? So it was like, man, look, that's really, really cool. Let's make sure we get her on there so she can show off her artwork to the world and yada, yada. But it definitely does. It's a storytelling thing. And we've been telling stories since the dawn of time. Cave people doing paintings on walls with fecal matter just to make cool stuff. You know what I mean? That's just it. Peas and carrots, man. Tattoos and comic books. Who doesn't like both? Even if you don't like getting tattoos, or you've never been tattooed, or you're scared of needles, you can still appreciate the artwork that a tattoo is. You know what I mean? So it's Matt Knowles.
You know what? It's interesting to pop into a live stream, and the very first thing you hear is cave paintings made of fecal matter is the first thing that you hear. You know it's going to be an interesting day.
Hey, man, I bring that to the table. I'm not, your normal guy. So super stoked that Matt's here, man.
Yeah.
Super stoked that Matt's here. Well, I think that the first time, one show that we did together, I had literally been a fan of Matt's. So it was like, he did I think it was a MegaCon. I want to say it was a MegaCon.
Could have been MegaCon.
I think it was a MegaCon that he was at, and I owned a comic shop, and I was literally just like perusing all these amazing indie books, and I was like, dude, this guy is all out. Like, he is for real about this series. And I think that's another form of, appreciation that we can give to these creators that we all like to hear. But super glad this man's still on the scene, because he definitely inspired me to make sure that I keep doing what I'm doing. So,
well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate. For those of you who don't know, I mean, if you're watching the show, I'm Matt Knowles from Insymmetry Creations. We've got a Kickstarter going right now for Heirs of Isildur or the Perilous Prospects. It ends at 9:00 tonight. We've been having a fun time finding the backers that can help to keep the road guys away. We had some fun with it. We've had some fun with it for the last couple of days. The constant up and down of adjustments and all. But we're going to end the day off strong. And I really appreciate what you just said there, Dustin. That's one of the things. I know Chuck is right above me over here. One of the things I really appreciate about Chuck is that there's not a topic that Chuck is not going to find a way to talk excitedly about. And a lot of, I mean that in the nicest way, because if you don't have excitement about what you do, how do you expect someone else to have that excitement as well? If they can't look at you and go, "Dang, this guy really believes in what he's doing," why are they going to be excited? People want to be involved in fun things and things that excite them, and you have to be able to bring that as a creator too. So that's what Steph and I try and do, and try to show people the excitement we truly do have about the things we do. So I appreciate that comment, man.
I have to kick one person so Ed can come back real quick. He's only available for like 10 more minutes, and then somebody can come back in. So, yeah.
I guess I'll do this. I could take care of my kids then.
All right. It'll just be like 10 minutes.
oh, hey, I saw that Belial cover. That new Belial cover there, Chuck.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The one that Connie did.
Bro. That's real talk, man.
Well, so that was just fan art. Like, she just sent me that, and she was like, hey, I really love what you're doing, and I wanted to kind of, break out some stuff. And I was like, shit, that's actually really good. I sent it to Sean. He's like, let's see what she does with it. And it went from fan art to, hey, maybe we should offer this as a print, to, fuck, I think this is a cover.
It's super stellar. I think you guys should be really happy with it. It's a really
Thank you, homie. I appreciate that. Yeah. And that's that's just how it comes together. And dude, super stoked to finally have some of that shit happening. So yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've been on a few of these lately with Matt, and I have never once seen him wear a top hat. It's very disappointing.
Well, you know what?
That's how you said it all, by the way.
Well, only reason being is just because I did a show in Clearwater yesterday, and so to make the outfit work, I had to take the goggles off of one hat and put them onto a different hat. So I'm looking over here, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to put some goggles on the top of it. But you know what? Since you said that, I'll figure out a way to make it happen.
If you didn't see that fit that he was in for Clearwater and all blue,
dude. He's able to ride this really thin line where if you change it just slightly, it would be bad prom, but where he is, it's good steampunk. I really like it. It's a very thin line, and he rides it beautifully.
I think it's the beard.
Well, the thing is, though, too, that, when Steph has the matching outfit, we're going to be at Jackson Con this weekend, where we wear the most gaudy, ridiculous-looking outfits, but we are twinning it. Then you're like, okay, there must be a reason for this. So this is intentionally being done. This guy just didn't blindly reach into his closet and pick out, grandma's 70s disco couch fabric. They actually did this on purpose. And we've had people that actually have come up to us and be like, oh man, you guys, what are you guys doing? See us at different spots in the venue and know that we are a part of the same entity. And that's actually brought them over to our table. So it's been a neat experience.
Love that. John would know better than anybody about what gets me hot and bothered, because he likes to watch my feeds and stuff. So he sees all about the dinosaurs and the bunnies and everything else I've got going on. So he definitely understands what's going on in my realm of thoughts.
Hey, everyone. I'm actually going to have to drop. I'm just about out of time, and I had that disconnect and everything. But I wanted to come back and say goodbye. Congrats again to SeerNova on 100 episodes. That's awesome. I hope to come back and talk to you guys again soon. I've got plenty of comics happening this year, so loads to talk about. But yeah, thanks everyone. And if anyone's listening, please check out Empowered Volume 2 on Kickstarter. Cheers. Thanks everyone, and have a lovely afternoon. Well,
Have a good one.
time of day it is for you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
All right, there you go. I got the biggest top hat in my entire collection on my head right now.
There you go.
I think I might have it on backwards, but you know what?
We can't tell. It's cut off.
I was going to say, it's great. It's so tall that like it gets cut off before it ever gets.
There you go. Hey guys, what's
That's
going
great.
on? This is Matt over here.
It's Mr. Hat.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
So
you
by
know,
the way, this top hat was made by GB Leatherworks. That's the company. If you've looked at our campaign, you see there Michael's Traveler's Pouch, all the little custom Traveler's pouches. This top hat was made. They've done a lot of custom leather work for us, and that's what they're doing this campaign. But yeah, you'll see us like the goggles that are on here. They made the goggles. They just came up with a set for Steph and I that as soon as we get them, we'll wear them out live. That are completely, like you said, outrageous and gaudy. And if you just saw them by itself, you'd be like, "What are they thinking?" But then you put them on both Steph and I, you'd be like, "Okay, that's kind of cool." Rainbows and rainbow striped threads and stars and crap like that on the lenses and mirrored lenses. I mean, they're freaking ridiculous. But yeah, they're doing some great leather work for us on this campaign. Probably some of our favorite stuff they've ever done.
Right on.
Yeah, I know we're talking about tattoos. I went to a really interesting show one time. It was not a comic book show. It was the Nashville Tattoo and Horror Festival. And I sat up there, and I was like the only guy with comics. And they had these booths where you could get a tattoo, and it was near where the vendors were. And the best way to get somebody to come to your table is be like, "Hey, nice tattoo," you know, like especially if it's a new tattoo, and they'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah," you know, and they'll come over and tell you all about it.
Yeah, you do that with T-shirts. You do that with shoes.
Yeah.
You can, like right now, like my big thing is I bought a pair of the Reebok's Dennis Nedry Jurassic Park kicks when they came out, and so you know it was also to advertise our products anyway. But it was fun because people will walk up and they'll be like, "Dude, look at those! They're all white, but they've got like zebra fur on the back of them and shit." You know what I mean? So people will stop and be like, "Oh man, those are really, really cool." And then you break into conversations or anything else. They came out really good stuff. They really, really did. Like one of them's got like the spit from the Dilophosaurus on it, and the other one doesn't. So there's all kinds of cool little nuances. There's like anything that was involved with Dennis Nedry in that film is on the shoes, but people dig it, you know. So you just stop people. Hey, look, man, those are really nice kicks. Or man, I used to wear Jinkos back in the day. Or you know, this is cool or that's cool, and it immediately sparks conversation. You know, and you can go into sales pitch 101 with some of this stuff. Like, hey, man, if you liked this, you'll love this. You know what I mean? It's a very I think the best part of for me coming into this industry was having owned a brick and mortar, and I knew how to pitch. I knew how to pitch indie comics. So like if someone would come in and they'd be like, "Oh man, do you have the latest Spider-Man?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's over there. But have you seen this from Image or this from Dark Horse or you know this from Antarctic Press or whatever else was out at the time?" You know what I mean? Have you seen these? And they're very different. They're original stories. It's not the same rehashed tale you've read over and over again with a different hero. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's fun. Sales are great, you know, and dealing with customers and people are a lot of fun. So, I mean, if you can't talk to people, I mean, it's not great.
Hector's here, so that's cool.
Yeah, he is.
What's up, y'all?
Woo!
Came in on my favorite part, sales.
Well, we were talking about shipping in the beginning, and I was like, "Don't talk."
Yeah, you
about
missed
that.
the shipping conversation.
That was
Good. You did
I might as well
good.
just leave right now. I missed the shipping part. Fuck.
That's like how
your
Hector
favorite
comes in
part?
glowing blue.
Yeah,
That's right, baby.
Hector, what's your favorite part of
I can change it
like,
up to
creating
it,
a
bro.
comic?
Favorite part of creating a comic when it's finished. No, I'm huge like storyboard artist. Like I like to get a lot of content in like that first stage just to get like a lot of ideas developed, and that's kind of the I don't know. That's kind of the best part for me because I really like to ideate and you know what I mean? And just get everything kind of on the table, whatever I want to see, whatever needs to be seen, things like that, get it all done like really, really in that first pass. So that's probably my favorite part, like the early work, the thumbnails, whatever you want to call it, storyboards, pencils, that kind of stage. But I also just like how it all comes together. So I work for a company in New Zealand and we have, various positions and roles and stuff like that. And, once I hand it off, it's out of my hands, but then I get to see it, in the final stage and it just always kind of comes together really, really amazingly. And I love that part too, just to see like how everybody else has thrown in their own kind of artistic interpretation into it.
Nice.
I kind of already knew that answer. So. I would ask about world building, but we're not going to get too much into that because me and Dan can talk about that forever, like maps and stuff.
Well, so should we maybe talk about, because we're talking about, like your 100th episode, should we maybe talk about kind of legacies, the kinds of things that you build towards when you're creating and whatnot? Because I mean, that's something that you guys are doing with your 100 episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good title for this episode too.
Yeah, the legacy episode.
Yeah.
Chuck does it again.
He's not just an editor.
Actually, I don't remember which episode, but a couple episodes ago, we were talking to somebody, and we were kind of discussing how, when it comes to independent comics, right, one of the biggest things is trying to make sure that when you're creating comics, you have to get through a few of them before you really are going to succeed. Like, no one creates one comic and succeeds. And I think like the general rule was like 5 comics before you start seeing like some traction. And so I was just curious what other people thought about that. Like, what do you think about, do you think there's a certain number of comics you have to create or a certain amount of time you need to be in the industry for you to really grow? Like, is it 5 comics or is it 5 years? Is it, what do you guys think about that?
I don't know if you could put a real time frame on it. I just think that I can tell you my own personal experience that you just have to be willing to learn and be open to knowing that you don't know everything and that there are people out there. Like I can tell you right now, again, I'm going to mention Chuck just because, Chuck and I have got a good relationship when it comes to stuff like this. Most of the original Heirs of Isildur books and Tales from Nocturnia have colored word bubbles and different things like that. Some people really like it. There's a lot of people that are not big fans of it. And Chuck has mentioned to me before about, I'm not understanding why you guys have made the choices that you made in the word bubbles. And, we kept it how it was for a couple of the titles, but with Heirs of Isildur and the Perilous Prospects, with it being a new story arc, we decided to go more traditional on the way that the word bubbles are. And Chuck's comment to me the other night was, I think that was a great decision. Chuck didn't push the envelope. He didn't say what he really thought. He's probably like, dude, these word bubbles look like crap. And if you don't change this, it looks like a bunch of colored garbage. I'm not saying you really felt that. I'm not saying he felt that. But what I'm saying is that because he gave constructive criticism that was given in a way to say, hey, you know what? You should consider this thought.
Yeah.
So that you might be able to make your product better in the long run. If you don't consider it and you don't use it, hey, that's on you. It's all good. But you might want to consider this because it might help your product go to the next level. And Steph and I, looked at this one. She's always been on the side of Chuck and basically allowing me to force the issue with the colored word bubbles. But with this one, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's go completely traditional and make it like that. And the reaction so far has been where people seem to have liked it a lot more. But I think that plays more into what the question was, Dillon, where it's, you have to be willing to learn and listen with constructive ears when you're starting. And not feel like, hey, this is the most amazing thing that's going to change the industry. Because I'll tell you right now, the first comic is absolutely not going to change any industry. You're just going to be jumping in and getting your feet wet. And you have to find the people to listen to, period.
Well, it's funny. I think that there's definitely not a time period. What it is you have to have done enough things that people go, oh, this motherfucker's probably going to stick around. Like they're taking this seriously. So like for some people that might take a couple years because comics are expensive and it takes a while. It might be like someone like Dustin, who in his first year fucking pounded out a shit ton of books and you're like, oh, okay, this dude's serious. So it's not the same for everybody. It's really all about kind of how you attack the industry and, what kind of stamp you're trying to put on it, and that will happen for different people at different times with different number of books. But yeah, it's almost never the first book.
Yeah, I was going to weigh in on that too, that exact same topic, because it's a very awkward conversation when someone comes in and they're like, "Hey, I'm having a hard time. Did you have a hard time too?" And you're like, "It's different for everybody. It's different because it's not just. And we all hate to say it, right? But it's on the table. Not every idea is a great one. You know what I mean? So when you come in and you're like, you know, the listener did well for me, comparatively speaking to most of the industry, but it didn't do what BGD did for me. You know what I mean? And and it certainly didn't do what If It Hops has done for me. You know what I mean? So it's a very interesting conversation when you look at things like, because you try to judge. The worst thing we can do is measure ourselves to other people. You know what I'm saying? It is, as much as I look up to people in the industry and I appreciate their work and stuff, I don't compare myself to them.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of them and I'm happy for them for the things they've created, and I'm in awe by it. But I never go, oh yeah, well, how does greed stick up to, you know, Heirs of Isildur? I don't do that. I can't. It doesn't work. Or what about the listener of Belial? You know, I don't do those things because you're being unfair to yourself. Not just them, but you're being unfair to yourself, because I appreciate it, Tim, because you don't know if you set your bar so high and you come in and fail. It's okay to fail, but if you set your bar that high, you're going to hurt yourself, like mentally, spiritually. You're gonna smash yourself. I have a great friend in this industry right now that is amazing talent that is constantly beating themselves up, right? Because they're just like, I'm not getting there. Cool, you just haven't hit that space yet. When you hit that space, you'll be fine, you know? But like, we went from, oh my gosh, 3 of us, me, Heather, and Eric Viola, putting together the listener in issue 1 with Kyle doing the lettering, and we had a handful of cover artists, right? To 36 members of our team right now. You know what I mean? It was in a year. Not everybody does that. You know what I mean? So I can't be like, let's go, and harp on people and tell them where they need to be at or how they should feel at any given time. Because there are days when I sit and I cry and nobody knows it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what's the next big portion? What do I hit next? What am I going to write that's going to blow this out of the water? Because that's my own crutch. I'm hard on myself like that. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to beat yourself up. You don't want to judge yourself compared to other people, because the only person you have in your competition with is you. That's it. No one else is your competition.
100%.
You know, these cats are your peers, man. Yeah. What they do should lift you. You know what I mean? Don't ever feel like you're in competition with these dudes. Because I tell you what, no one else writes bunny books. Not like me anyway. You know what I mean? No one else is putting out dinosaur books like me. You know what I mean? If you find your niche, and that's where you judge your level of success.
Yeah. Be better than you were last week.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Be better than you. So anyway, I'm going to dip out. I know there's a bunch of cool folks coming to hang out with Greg. Congratulations again, guys. And it's always such a pleasure to see you guys. It really is. If you guys ever want to hang out, pitch your books, shoot some shit, we do a show on Friday nights. It's a lot of fun. Comics Unbound. We have a great time. We bring on folks from Australia, the UK, and stuff to meet fans in the US, as well as introduce you guys to US writers and creators to people over there so they can start checking out your product. Anyway, I'm out. Have a great day, guys. Best wishes and best of luck on all your campaigns. And we will catch you guys shortly. See you on the road, guys.
Good seeing you, man.
Yeah. It's a very succinct answer. I think he made a lot of really great points there, and I think to weigh in on that and just to, I guess, I don't know, put my 2 cents in. Someone who's had really great success like that, like has had a short period of time where they've accomplished a lot, and then from someone like me where I've been trying to break into like the indie kind of marketplace for quite a while. I think it's just about having all the right like foundations in place as well. So when you can look at your product, you can see actually all the flaws in it. Like, and you've learned from like other people, you've learned from the industry, you've done a ton of research, and like, okay, this might be the reason why my book is not or why I'm not as successful as I want to be. And I think that's really important too, to just have. What is going on here?
I think someone's got the live stream open.
Not on my end. No, just being able to have like a step back and zoom out from your specific creative process and just zoom out and be like, okay, like this is the product in general, and maybe what's keeping me from being successful, and not being like stuck in your own head and thinking like, again, not every idea is going to be great, not every part of your book is going to be great, not every there's components to it that once you have all those components in place, at least you're in the position to be successful. So you have to put yourself there first, and then once you're there first, then you can it can go wherever it's going to go. But yeah, it's absolutely different for everybody, and I think it's not easy for anyone, for sure, and it's just kind of a crapshoot when you are able to be successful in kind of a short amount of time.
Yeah. Just hop off the back of those comments, I think progression's key, like seeing progression between work from book to book. Definitely, I want to make each piece of work better than the last, so that when people are picking up, they're like, okay, they can see a clear progression, then they know that the next book, or even, I wonder what it's going to be like, 3-4 books down the line. And I don't mean just in terms of the series, because obviously I want the series to be consistent, but I want each project to progress. And I think, like Hector said, looking back and seeing all the different elements, especially when you're doing it yourself, and seeing, I don't know if there's a lot of feedback. Is that from me? I can't tell. From someone. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But just analyzing all of those aspects, whether it's the writing, whether it's the art, whether it's the storytelling, whether it's the the genre or whatever it is, and trying to do different things.
Just Sopranos, though.
There we go.
Just went to cut the black like that.
That was very cinematic.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
That's what I was going to say too. Is just about consistency, and how important that is. You could have a good story and then gain a lot of momentum, but you could lose it very fast if you don't have that consistency going. You know what I mean? So I think having that is super important.
Yeah, I was going to say back on that the concept of the 5 comic books. I think that's more of like just I think the point's more knowing that you're not just going to create one comic if you're going to be a real creator, and the idea of having like just knowing like if you go into creating comics thinking your first 4 will be terrible no matter how good you work on them, and your 5th one's going to be like that first one that kind of gives you hope that you might be a good comic book creator. I think it's a nice way to like really have people like have a set goal so that they're like, okay, I need to like suffer through this at least this many times before I'm going to make something that's worthwhile. I think that's also just like kind of piggybacking off what you guys have been chatting about, but like it's almost like a mindset of knowing like you're going to have to grind to get to that point of a quality piece of work.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to drop off, make way for someone else. But good to join you all, and have a good day. Congrats on 100.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice meeting you, man.
Thank you.
See you later.
I just kind of stopped thinking about this last month. Like, it's been 6 years since I started doing this, and seems like a long time, but it really doesn't at the same time. It does kind of seem like a struggle every time still. Some things are better than other things. It isn't always going to be a straight line. It's sometimes things are more popular, and then you do something else and it's not as popular, and it's just the way it is. But I think I gotta go, actually. So to say bye to you guys, and thanks for having me on. Happy 100th episode.
Yeah,
Take it easy.
Thank you.
We have 9 more days on 2 Eyed Tales magazine, so check that out, 2eyedtales.com.
See you later, Joe. Hope you enjoyed the fact that I put a top hat on just for you, man.
Keep killing it, Joe.
Oh. Wavy, wacky arm. Man.
There you go. Hey, welcome you guys.
Welcome.
Didn't know if I'd be able to get on here, so.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
first of all, I want to tell you, Greg and the SeerNova crew, happy 100th episode.
Woo.
So
Made it.
good job, guys. So
Yeah, thank you.
I'd have a drink for you, but it's well, I guess it's not too early.
Never too early.
5 o'clock.
Never
So
too
see you.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey guys, can we all mute for 1 second just so we can figure out where the sound's coming from?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's
was
coming
gonna
through
say that,
really,
but
it's coming
Matt's
through
the
really
director
bad on
here.
the feed, and want to make sure everybody can hear what everybody's saying. So let's all mute at the same time and see if we can figure it out. Okay, I'm back off of mute, so it's not.
I'm back off of mute.
I'm off.
I'm off.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think so. I hear the clicking now. It's not as aggressive, but yeah, I definitely hear it there.
I'm off. Headphones too.
I'm off mute.
Is that better?
Hello?
Oh, it went away now.
The clicking's gone. And, yeah,
Oh,
it's just
okay.
background noise now. That's all.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Demetrius.
at a full convention here, so
All right.
Oh wow.
Awesome. What show you at, man?
I'm at the Halls of Heroes right here at Elkhart, Indiana,
Oh, that's cool.
and it is full of beautiful people
Nice.
getting their geek on with the comics.
Greg, maybe we can make them full screen. You can do a quick little pan around.
Yeah, I can do that. Hey, how's it going? Yeah.
Got to get consent first before you film anybody.
Do a pan here. I don't know if I can. I can't flip it, but yeah. If you look over here, actually, I don't know if you can see over Doug Jones from Star Trek Discovery is over there signing. So we're doing our thing.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Now I want. Yeah.
Just walk around, Demetrius.
I wish I could.
Give us the tour. Yeah.
We're at a con right now.
Yeah, we're at a con.
You don't
Can you
need to be
go-
at your table making sales. Forget that.
Yeah, I'm making.
Yeah.
I'm making a sale right now. So
Can you
That's our
find the
100th
dollar bin?
episode.
Put us on
Say
speaker so
again?
we could talk to all of them.
Whoever you're making a sale to, tell them that Matt and Chuck said, "Hey, what's going on? Good purchase."
hey,
Yes, they did.
Matt and Chuck said, "Hey, you're making a good purchase. We're live. We're live. Say hi, everybody.
Hey.
All right, they represent me. All right, that's how we do
Buy
that,
two.
people.
By two.
Bye, too.
Double up.
Okay, good.
You guys still don't hear
Thank
static
you.
anymore. I still hear them.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like buzzing occasionally.
mhm. All right. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. My name is Demetrius Witherspoon, and I am the creator and is that me?
I don't think so. We've had this issue before you
Yeah.
came on.
Okay. All right. You have a good one. This is my sci-fi series, Submerged Universe, that I wrote and directed. It started with 4 films, and it's about a lady that gets thrown into a multi-universe, and she has to find her way out and find her child. And because of this submerged experiment, when we go into the future of that on Echo 51, Light thinks she's the last of her species, and then she finds this android that changes her whole world, and it leads into our next film that's coming out this summer, Submerged Blue Star. Now I'm doing this for you guys and everyone on this podcast, but we also have people looking at the Submerged universe and checking out everything.
I love that you were pitching to us, but you have people in front of you. Goodbye.
Yay, you know, we got to let everybody know how we're doing this. So
There you go.
But yeah, we have those films, and now they're leading into our comics. And so we got the Light comic, we got 51X. She's an android that is struggling with her humanity, but now she comes up against a seemingly unstoppable force. when she goes on her first mission. And so now, we started on Friday. We have the figure. He's one of our fan favorites, and hopefully you can see that there. He's on Indiegogo. We just started that, and we are about to do his very first standalone comic. Actually, it's going to be 3 issues, but he is a black scientist that finds a biotech suit that not only will help to save his family, but also helps save the multiverse if everything works out properly. So those issues are going to be three of those coming out. We're running the Indiegogo now to get those printed and out with some cool perks. We got our action figures of. We got the action figures.
Nice.
Let me do that. Here we go. Yeah.
Dope.
That's cool.
Of the figure. His nemesis was just made, and that's coming. All right, let's do this again. And so that people can go to Indiegogo right now to the figure issue 1, and help us support us get that out, because when you get into that epic world, it's going to lead you into our animated series that we're about to do on the figure also, which will be coming out next year.
Nice.
Also, the one thing that Demetrius forgot to mention was happy 100th episode, SeerNova.
Yes. Let me get that in. Let me get my breath.
Let me get that in.
Happy 100th.
He said it, you just didn't hear it.
Yeah, I said it so quickly.
Yeah.
But you guys are rocking it, and we appreciate all that you're doing. For all us creators, we need this kind of platform so everyone can see what's going on, and we have a chance to give back, because we're learning as we go. And so I know I'm learning as I go. So whatever I can give back, I can. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice. Looks great, man. Looks great.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Awesome
thank you.
work,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck at the show today, man.
All right. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
fun.
having me on. And all you creators, keep rocking it. Peace. Thanks for getting submerged.
Take it easy, bud.
Oh yeah,
Nice
look
to
at
meet
that.
you.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
So what's up, Luke?
How's it going, guys? I'm glad to be here.
So tell people a little bit about you.
About me, well, my name is Luke. You can find me on Instagram at @LAndersonArt, and I have been with SeerNova for quite some time, since I probably had no right drawing comics for a company when I was first learning, to currently when I feel like I've gotten pretty good at it. Most notably on their platform, I illustrated the remaster for Seer Chronicles 1, which looks amazing, and I'm really excited to get in the mail. And I'm currently working on a new project called The Dragon Dilemma, which I can tell you a bit about if you would be interested.
Yeah.
So The Dragon Dilemma is a high fantasy story about a man's dream to achieve feats and means beyond the mortal coil, and it is a cautionary, tragic tale of a hero's downfall due to their own over-ambition, their strive to achieve something beyond what they were meant to. The opening excerpt, which kind of ties together the entire theme, is that the dragon is the apex predator, a true being in all its means. It can flatten mountains with its wings and raise forests in its fiery breath. Before a dragon, none may stand. But one day, from the dragon's fire was born a phoenix, a being with the ability to reincarnate. With its collective wisdom and experiences, can the phoenix ever surpass the dragon? And if so, at what cost? So that's kind of the pitch for Dragon Dilemma. And I'm currently have almost the first issue done. I just got to get it colored. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Peter wants to introduce himself because he totally forgot.
Yeah.
and Tim
He
too.
was being too wacky, wavy.
Because
My time's coming. My time's coming.
I had to get that blood going to my head.
Hey guys. Hey Chuck. Hey, Matt. Hey Timothy.
Hey.
Hey Greg.
What up?
And everybody else.
Hello.
I'm sorry if I haven't met you yet, but I probably will.
Honorable mentions.
Eventually.
So,
we'll all
Peter,
meet each other eventually. So.
Well, it's a small group, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So I duffed it and didn't introduce myself when I joined. So I'll only take like a second here. And anyway, my name is Peter Wilmering, and first and foremost, I'm a writer. Did some prose writing back in the day, and then got into writing comics a couple of years back, and have my Big Jack series. It's on issue 3, which will be the final book in that series with that character. But now since and I've always loved comics, so this is kind of a dream come true, and also very stressful, but whatever. Anyway, but it's kind of given me the urge to continue to do writing in the sequential art medium. So yeah, and Big Jack issue 3 Kickstarter is live right now until the 26th. That's Big Jack issue 3.
I love that. Big Jack.
I had said this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Tim, go ahead. Introduce yourself as well.
I'm Timothy Fling. I'm the first and foremost. I want to say congratulations, the 100th episode.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. I'm a fan of Greg and Dillon both. You guys know. So, yeah. I'm Tim. I'm a writer. I'm from York, Pennsylvania. I write a couple of comics. My main goal today is I'm promoting the Water Wars, which is coming to Kickstarter, the triumphant return on March 8th. Feel free to take a look out. It'd be great if you could follow along. And I'm trying to spread the love, too. I'm just meeting some of the new creators here for the first time. I know a couple of you guys. Peter, I know very well. I should mention we're doing a crossover episode between Big Jack and Water Wars. Well, it's not really Big Jack necessarily. It's in Michigan, though. It's Michigan.
There you go.
But I will say that, I'm real grateful to have you guys, and the support of the indie community has been great to me. Really means a lot to me, guys. I'm not too different from Peter. I started this really just a couple of years ago, and this last batch has, I'm having a pretty good month, right? I got the story in the Cthulhu book. I got the next Water Wars coming out, and also you can order the Antarctic Press version. Actually, I can order that one now, I'm pretty sure. That's Planet Comics number 8, which is, more of the stories from our science fiction world gathered together in an anthology format.
We're Planet Comics brothers.
Yeah, that's right. I got a couple label mates. Yeah. Sometimes I guess chapter mates they call it, right? And I got to be honest, I got really lucky. I got really lucky on a couple of things. I met. Well, actually, I've never really met Ben, so to speak. We live in an online world, right? So you got to maximize your connections. So I just reached out to a couple of times. And I said, "Hey, man, I know you're not looking for submissions at the current moment, but hey, I'm submitting stories. What do you got? Because I'm looking for distribution is kind of my deal." And every time he's been just great to work with, and you get paid a little too. I got to get to where I'm, it's like a percentage, right, over 6,500 copies or something. And I'm not hitting those kind of numbers, but I will now that I'm figuring out the angles of how you do this. And I thought he was real helpful as far as, to get these stories out there. And for me, it's a matter of that's how I can get books to the West Coast. I'm certainly not going to any conventions farther than Baltimore myself. So it's one more avenue, and having a little bit of success with it, at least these first 2 months. If the rest of the year went like this, I'd be pretty happy. But, but my next 2 big steps are the next 2 issues of the Water Wars series, which we listen to the audience. That's what seems to be playing right now. At least my crowd's following it, and I'm doing fairly well with them. So you'll see that coming. One's coming out of the pipe right now. That's Tuesday night. You'll see that go live. And then number 4, I got to imagine, is going to be June or so. And that's my story. I'm also a big fan of Greg and Dillon too, because I heard him mention earlier, this is the place where the map nerds hang out. And I don't know how the rest of you feel about these maps. We call them the tactical maps. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm doing my Kickstarter stuff. I'll show you one because Peter's on here too.
And I love maps.
Yeah, that is the Chrome enhanced,
gorgeous
tactical map.
I think that's the one you were mentioning last time. I don't think you had it printed yet, though.
Yeah, but you see, it's a little bit hard to display, but you see, it's printed in 2 layers, and you can see the top layer's got sort of a shiny logo kind of a deal going on there, and the key events. And,
yeah, I was thinking that from Firefly.
What's going on with flesh eaters in this? I want to know what.
Yeah. Well, the West Coast is rapidly shaping up to be the villains of the Water Wars universe. I'm sorry about that, West Coast, but I had to put all the bad guys somewhere, and they're going to be pretty vile and reprehensible just the whole way around.
Wow.
Hey, we should introduce Christy now then.
Yeah.
There you go,
Go, Christy, go.
Yeah, go. People are kind of amazed, like how I put myself together, and they say it's like this vile thing, like it's supposed to be like Pigpen or some shit. So, I'm actually the authoress and creator of Demon Bitch. Usually I'm actually more eloquent, but I've had a lot of stuff going on. I actually got a new position, and I'll tell you about that later. But I just do Demon Bitch. She's a low-level demon from the 13th pit of hell where people throw their dog shit and gum wrappers. And she wants to bring the second coming of Armageddon, but the first one never happened because she's stupid. So I'm making a new book called Triggered. I release a graphic novel every year. You can catch Demon Bitch on Webtoon. You can go on Linktree, find all the stuff I'm selling and all my portfolio. I'm open for commissions and other work. I've worked well with people. I think I've worked well with Chuck. I worked with you. There was one other person that I worked with. I don't know if I worked with you and Greg. I think we talked about it. Anyway, so I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. It's like been a lot of stuff, but I've done a lot of stuff. So check it out. I'll be at WonderCon, and then I'll be at Gem State Comic-Con in April. And I'm running an event called Asian Invasion, which is over in the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach in California. And that'll be on the 19th. So you guys can friend me on Facebook and all that. And I just constantly am posting shit that I'm doing. Also, I just got elected as president of CAPS, Comic Arts Professional Society. So that's
congratulations. Yeah,
it's like this. We have animators, but it's not animated art. It's like sequential art, like syndicated strips, comic work. We've got a few writers in here. Let me actually also pop it in because we're trying to go and expand from LA
that's what he said.
Domestically in worldwide. Yeah, I know. Now I'm saying it too. So there you go. Ain't gender specific or some shit. But yeah, you guys can check it out. I know we've got to update the site. We were actually really inactive due to COVID, because we couldn't do really events or anything. So we've actually are looking for members. The next one we're doing is Ontario Comic Con in Ontario, California, not Canada. And we'll have a table there. I'll be there along with one of the board members of, let's say, Jose Pimenta. Brad will be there, but he'll be tabling at another table. He has another table, but he'll be there as VP. And I'll be there as well as another member of ours, Eddie. So there you go. Yeah. So what we do is just we work with all the comic book creators, distributors, things like that. We're trying to build a network as well in that regard.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I've also put up my Kickstarter up there as long as that. So go follow the Kickstarter. So when it's live, it's going to be 3/22.
Okay. Cool. Good luck.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I already like Demon Bitch. I'm already sold.
Yeah.
Follow the Kickstarter. You can get triggered, and I'll sign the book. And I'm going to say if we hit past a certain, one of the stretch goals is making it a hardcover. So, like, if you hate somebody,
nice,
cool.
Yeah, you can throw the book out the window and clock somebody.
Perfect. Well, hey guys, before anybody else jumps in really quickly, I'm gonna head out. But I just really quickly want to just kind of outro this because I've been networking with SeerNova since they kind of started, and just to see how you guys have grown and stuff, and just the community of people that are sitting right here and throughout the 100 episodes that you've done, all the different topics you've talked about, all the different people you've connected with. It's really, really amazing to see how far you guys have come, and just congratulations on getting here. And I know there's so much more on the horizon. I'm actually going to be working with you guys on a book, so I'm super excited about that.
Nice. Congrats.
So yeah, dude, epic. You guys, I love you guys. Obviously, like we did Chronicles of Horror together. We've taken on quite a few challenges as a platform. So just keep trucking, man, and keep doing what you guys are doing. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Hector.
Later, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think Hector was either the first or the second person we ever spoke to.
It was Luke, and then it was like Hector.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it was the second person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is the SeerNova 100th episode podcast, but what we haven't really heard in yet is we haven't flipped the script and asked you guys questions about your 100 episodes. So in the previous 99 episodes, what are some of your favorite memories? What are some of the things that have happened that you thought that was really cool? Or what are the things that you've learned? So there's 3 questions in a row right there for the SeerNova guys. What have you learned? Who have been your favorite people to have on? And what have been some of your favorite memories?
Yeah, Dillon can unmute himself so he can go first.
I just said Greg. I said Greg, go. But yeah, I guess I can go. So some of my favorite episodes, honestly, have been really when a lot when we first started off, we were basically just interviewing people. We didn't really know what we were doing. But as we went along, we started, honestly, the more we learned about the comic creation process, the better our questions got during interviews. And then eventually we really started getting into, asking more specific. So like, I've loved our conversations on world building. I still remember that one of our comics completely, we restarted it from what we were going to do for our comic because of a conversation with Ed Jowett. So like, we actually talked with him. We basically were, I think we talked about releasing independent comics and how that really develops. And when you go back to the first comics that really became prominent, the action comics, the detective comics, and how, they were really built and they were launched talking about how there was no backstory. It was just an interesting character, and you really just drew someone in. And then after years of really being drawn in on this character, people are like, what's his backstory? And so our first issue of Ink, we were starting off in the origins, and people loved that one, and they're like, where's the second one? Where's the second one? And as we began to write the second one, we had that conversation with Ed, and we immediately were like, no, we're going to skip a bunch of stuff and just jump into where we were excited to get to, because the reason we love the character is because of all the stuff we've been discussing. So we're just going to bring that up to the forefront. So that was definitely one of my favorite episodes. The world building, I know even talking with Timothy, a lot of the world building has been excellent. Discussing, learning about new comic genres, a lot of people just think comic books, superheroes, but learning about, the sci-fi comics, the fantasy comics, obviously the Chronicles of Horror, so horror comics, learning about that. I think actually, and coincidentally, speaking of another favorite, talking with Chuck about a lot of the editing and being humble enough to realize no matter how many times you edit your own comic, it's impossible to get as good a feedback as you can from somebody else. And I know Greg knows, but when he first started writing all these comics and we were first getting them drawn by, creators, they were the quality was a certain level that we hope to never fall to again. And basically that mostly came from just the inexperience of writing a comic versus writing film, storyboards. So I know that was a huge thing, learning the difference of how to create comics and learning about world building, learning about character development. And honestly, that journey, discussing it with people, learning with Greg has been, absolutely incredible.
I'm sorry, when I saw Jeff log in, I know you were talking about this very touching thing, and it was, and me laughing inappropriately, that was because Jeff went on and said stupid kids, and I started laughing.
I love Jeff Weber's stupid kids.
Excellent.
Automatically, I just thought of the stupids, that's all, and I started laughing my ass about that shit too. Anyway,
man. Yeah, I'm gonna back out so you can get somebody else in here. I know you got probably a lobby full of people, so good luck with all you guys, and again, happy 100th episode. Thank you thank you for having me on the couple times that you've had, and hopefully we can do it again. I'm sure I'll be seeing all you guys somewhere somehow. So
definitely. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
See ya.
Yep.
Greg, do you want to have Jeff introduce himself first, or do you want to?
Yeah. Stupid kids.
Hey everybody, how's it going, guys? I've been listening to the show. We had Jam-packed studio, so I couldn't get in at 12, but I'm happy to come in now. So, hi, I'm Jeff Weber. Congratulations, SeerNova, on your 100th. That's awesome. So,
thank you.
So glad I could be a part of this, and I enjoyed talking to you on our previous episodes, and looking forward to hearing what you guys do in the future. Stupid Kids, I put that in there. That's going to be my next book. Maybe, hopefully late April. We'll see. Look for it. I'm sure I won't be quiet on social media about it when it's out. It's going to be an anthology, and once you hear the subtitle, it becomes crystal clear what it is. It's True Tales of Reckless Youth.
Oh, the stupid shit we all used to do.
Exactly.
The thing is, like, when I was a kid, a little girl, I really actually didn't do too much stupid shit. I mean, I'd set fires in my backyard, but I knew, like, setting a fire, like, would create a wildfire with all the dried oat grass. I knew I'd get into trouble. So I just do it on the concrete.
Is it?
But then I grew up having a lot of guy friends, and they would do tons of stupid shit. I said, yeah, you know you're going to get hurt. Yeah, they did it anyway. So, yeah, I told you, you fucking idiot.
So is it just anything stupid that, like, a kid did, like, when they were younger? Because, like, I can name a few things that I've done.
That's the beauty of this book, is as soon as people hear the concept, they immediately start telling me, like, several of their own personal.
I just love the irony of him having kind of come onto the scene, creating a book called The Scientists, and now he's moved to Stupid Kids. I mean, come on, how is no one saying that?
I gotta go from the opposite extremes. My first book was about really smart kids. My follow-up book's got to be about really stupid kids.
I do fat. They do stupid shit all the time. Stupid
videos of
like we go around and then I go like, stop fucking trying to have sex with her. Damn it. They're fixed, by the way. But do stupid cat things, you know.
So yeah, we got it's an anthology book. We got tons of great stories. I got my own story about the time I stuck a wire in an outlet.
Fucking smart.
We got all your favorite creators are going to be there. So be there or be square.
That's funny as fuck. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I've done a couple dumb things when I was a kid. Like, I was on my like one of my best friend's cars. He was like driving it down the street, and I was like on the hood, like holding onto it while he's driving like 30 miles an hour down the street. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I did. And his dad came out as I was screaming, and he's like, "Get off the car!" And then I let go as he hit the brake, and I flew off. And I just like hurt my elbow for like 3 weeks, and I didn't tell my mom about it. She's probably a terrible mom for not even knowing that like my arm was hurting. But yeah.
Oh, I have another story. When I was a kid, I got into a fight with a girl. And I lost because I couldn't put my shit down. So every kid, this was junior high, so this is a long time ago. So anybody think I start fights? No. So what ended up happening was that so this kid, like every kid picked on me after that, and I was getting really pissed off. So imagine like in junior high, like how you are as an adult, and then in junior high you have even a shorter fucking fuse than you even have now, like just tiny. So I was a really angry kid, and this kid named Casey Wanless, now I remember his fucking name, Jesus. He was 3 times my size, and I was scared shitless of him, big white kid. And he started fucking with me in class, and he was the very last person. And I was so angry that I just launched myself at him. And I don't remember much. We were just slamming into desks and shit, but I was that fucking pissed. I was just hitting him. I mean, I'm not going to say it's this whole dramatic thing. Oh, my like fist. I was just so angry. I was just hitting him. You know, I think he was hitting me, but you know, I think if you got into a fight in school, you kind of get into that mode, like you feel it, but you don't feel any pain. And I was just so angry, and they kind of like pulled us off each other. And I talked to a teacher while he got detention. Well, my mom never knew about it until much, much later. And I told her, well, got into a fight with a guy in junior high. And I told her what happened, and she's like, what kind of boy would like hit a girl? And I'm like, well, Mom, to be fair, I punched him first and I bloodied his nose apparently, because that's what I heard later. And she's like, good.
Matt asked sorry, that was a good story. I like that. Yeah. Matt asked 1,000 great questions, and Greg is trying to fucking duck them, and I noticed. And so I'm gonna point the finger, whichever finger you want, at Greg and say, answer the fucking question, man.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah,
let's go.
Fight him. Fight.
I actually like the one episode with Matt and Steph when they were on, not to
oh, that one?
Yeah, butter you guys up. But I had a sunburn, so I was like all sunburned from being at my brother's bachelor party that day. Yeah, I remember the day and everything. So I came back from his bachelor party and I was completely burned, so I was like trying not to move in the chair while talking to you guys, so that was fun. And then another one was probably just Chuck teaching us about like the turn pages. He also did that off of our podcast. Like we actually had a meeting and he was like, this is how you're supposed to do a comic. I was like, oh. So and I think one of our comic, I think like the first Seer Chronicles, it didn't like have that turn page kind of effect, and when you should, if you can. Now we do. We definitely do. So we actually number it and all that stuff. It's awesome. So yeah, learning from that is pretty cool, and just can you teach me the comic? Yeah, so those are pretty cool. There's a lot of cool guests that we had on. We had Hector on a bunch of times just because we didn't have anybody that wanted to come on. So I'm like, all right. And we just had people from our platform at first because we didn't know that many people. And then when we started like getting into the community, then that's why you should get into the community. So yeah. Did that answer all of your questions?
Answers a chunk.
Yeah, a chunk.
But that brings up something that I was talking about recently on a panel. We were shilling our Kickstarters and showing Kickstarters off. And I said at the beginning, look guys, this video is going to have a half-life of like 3 days. So this video is only going to really be good for you and your book and your career and all that shit for like 3 days. But all the people in this panel, and of course right now we're hanging out with the boys from SeerNova, what they do for you and the people that you meet on these shows and all that kind of stuff, that stuff can last your career. So sitting on here and just talking about your book and paying attention to your stuff isn't actually going to help you at all. It'll maybe get you, $50, $100 on your Kickstarter or whatever fucking bullshit. But hanging out with these people, learning from them, networking with them, later on doing crossovers with them, all that kind of stuff, that will go on forever. And that's what's important, and that's the gift, Greg and Dillon, that you guys have given to us by having this platform and bringing all these people on. You allow us to meet one another and to learn from one another and all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for that.
That's funny that Chuck just said that too, because I know I told you guys our campaign ends at 9:00 tonight. And one of the things I'm doing right now as we speak, I'm writing a column called Reflections. And when people are doing these kind of campaigns, everybody out there that's not the 9 of us that are sitting on this thread think all we're doing is begging for money. That's not what we're doing. We are hoping that people are going to take a chance on something that we invest 24/7 in every single day during the campaign and every day prior to that to get it ready. And what this Reflections column is about is looking at what happened as a time capsule. I'm sure every one of you guys can look back and go, yeah, I remember what was going on when we ran the Belial campaign or Chronicles of Horror. This thing happened in the world, or this thing happened in my life. And you kind of gauge your own life as a time capsule based on the things that were happening during the campaign. And if you guys know anything about what's going on with me recently, yeah, obviously my brother literally died in the middle of the campaign, detoured me, because I'm not going to say derailed, detoured what was going on in my life for a week, literally took me to Charlotte, North Carolina for a week in the middle of a campaign. If you guys want to hear two things that are going to be in here, that is one of the wildest things you'll ever hear. So 2 campaigns ago, the main musician with me on Heirs of Isildur, Corey Steger, died right before the campaign. So my brother died on February 15th, which was Corey's birthday. We are ending this campaign today, and Steph's like, look at what showed up in the memories. Corey, the last time we saw him, when he recorded his tracks for the album, which he died 11 days later, were recorded 1 year ago today. So March 6th of 2021 is when Steph and myself and Corey and his best friend Rick all were here, whether it's in the room or video chatting. Little did we know that was the last time that we were going to see this man alive. And so it just goes to show how much of an impact that these campaigns can have outside of just the book, just the words, just the lettering, but there are real world things that you can gauge in your own life with that. Like I said, I'm writing this column now because I want people outside of us to see there's so much more, just building on what Chuck said, than just the book. In the end, the book is unimportant as much as you love it. It's more about the relationships you build with people, the legacy you're building, and the impact you're having on people's lives. So I just wanted to build on that, Chuck. Sorry for being a downer, but
we're not talking about shipping.
Chris should introduce himself.
Okay, Christian.
Oh,
Chris,
hi.
how you doing?
Happy to join you guys. Yeah, I heard that. That sounds like quite an emotional ride.
Yeah.
Very
Now
much,
pep
very
everybody up.
Yeah.
So,
am I supposed to introduce myself?
Yeah.
Do a little.
Oh, okay. Christian Alawash, and I'm a professional artist and author. And I wrote a book called It's a Living Surviving as a Freelancer in the 21st Century, based on coming on 20 years as a freelancer, starting out in Canada. Oh yeah, you got it. Signed copy. And then I just finished a book for on cartooning that's going to come out this year, and it's a how-to instructional book. And yeah, I'm a working artist and happy to join you guys. I've talked to Dillon and I'm trying.
He's definitely doing it on purpose. He's just like, that other guy. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I just chatted with you on text. Now I have to visualize it. But I could read it. It's really small. Greg, yeah. So yeah, that's it. I don't know. And then I just had a book club, so that's why I'm outside. They were gonna get rained out, but then they ended up having this little picnic. So I came out and just taking a breather with you guys.
Nice.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming. What's your
Congratulations
favorite
on 100 episodes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So now that you introduced yourself, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Favorite dinosaur?
Yeah.
The one that they don't believe in anymore.
Which one was that?
You know the one that got canceled?
Which one's all of them?
I know about
Well, yeah,
Pluto,
there's like
but that's the planet.
the one with the long neck. There was 2 of them had slightly varying names, and then 2 discoverers, and then apparently they decided that one of them never existed.
Like the Brontosaurus or something?
I think so, yeah. What's one of those? I forget the name.
There's Brachio and I think there's Brontosaurus, right?
So did they do to the dinosaur what NASA did to Pluto?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
And my favorite planet is Pluto.
Oh, it is the Brachiosaurus. So far it's still real, but they think that it might not be. So they haven't like completely gotten rid of it yet. I just looked it up, but it said there's a good reason why people think that it's not real.
It's so weird.
Because sometimes, I think like when they first started discovering those things in earnest, they some of them got the skeletons mixed up, so they put the 2 skeletons together and they went like, oh fuck, and it turned out to be like different parts of different dinosaurs already discovered or something. I mean, they've gotten better at it now, But this was like from the Victorian era to like the 1900s, and then the 1970s and stuff. This had better technology, and now like up until the 1990s to the 2000s, then they discovered, oh, some of them were jumbled up with other shit.
Yeah, the Brontosaurus is the one they jumbled up. So Brontosaurus was believed to be in a Podosaurus, mistakenly classified as a new species. The long-necked, long-tailed, 30-ton Brontosaurus is one of the most famous dinosaurs of all time. And if he has most paleontologists, it's not real.
Well, I also heard that there were no dinosaurs, and they just assembled a bunch of people bones into shapes.
Yeah.
That's something I heard.
And Taylor was talking about giraffes. Giraffes are just horses that like to be choked. So that's not even a thing. That's like, he's talking shit over there. No, they just love getting choked.
Look at the Santa Barbara Zoo of the giraffe. It looks fucked up. Like it's got that weird kink in its neck and shit. It's like I've seen
It's got a lot of kinks, man.
it's like this. Like literally, when it was a baby, just fell over, and they said, "Oh, it's okay." And then as she grew up, she's like,
Maybe that's all it is. Its head got stuck when they were pulling it out. That's how they made a giraffe.
Yeah,
That's why I can't bend its neck. It kind of just flops around like that. You ever see like two giraffes fight each other? They just like throw their necks at each other. It's ridiculous.
Dude, funny. Right? It's like they're like that. Like, why don't you herbivores? No wonder y'all
get a room.
Why do you think that one monkey has a red ass? I'm telling you, guys, these guys are fucked up.
This is coming from a guy that thought Demon Bitch was sex positive. I sat there, I'm like, what?
I wasn't wrong.
Remarkably sex positive. I'm like, I don't know, making fun of a fucking idiot. Okay. I was kind of surprised. Like, as I said, like, if you guys ever read Demon Bitch, or if anybody's ever read any of your IPs, I'm sure all of you have had that. It's like they read it and they say, well, it's this type of thing. And like, I never actually thought of it that way, but sure, okay.
I feel
like the whole sex positive thing with Demon Bitch, she's a hoe, but the thing is that she's like a disease-ridden hoe going around being a hoe still. So that's not really, I guess that's sex positive. Like, do sex responsibly.
Do it your way.
Yeah, do it your way. Making McDonald's. That's not a good recommendation, actually.
If anyone wants to see two giraffes fight, I put a video in the
Okay.
Slamming each other. It's like weird. Like the male, like how they mate is kind of similar to how they fight, except they're doing it more gently. But then when the males get it, they like slam their necks together. Like, geez,
yeah,
guys.
it's ridiculous. It's because like a bunch of their bones, it's not a bunch of bones. It's like it's only a couple of bones makes up like their whole neck. So like when they hit each other, it just flops around.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny. It's like you just. I remember Toon Hole. They did this. They do these like really fucked up cartoons, and there was this one where this giraffe was like plopping out her baby, and at the same time, simultaneously, a crocodile was eating it. I'm like, oh my god!
Oh no.
Toon Hole. They're messed up people, but they're great. They're great. It's been good, like cold lately, dude. Like I walked around yesterday, like, why is it?
Okay, so guys, I'm going to be the next one to pop out. I know we have some people waiting to come in, but I just want to say one more quick congratulations for the 100 consecutive episodes. Nice job, guys. And on a slightly more personal note, for Greg and Dillon, I really appreciated what you did for me in particular and for the indie community. One of my greatest memories, I will tell you, was when we did our world building podcast. And just thank you so much, man. I wish you every success.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your podcast is like one of the best on our YouTube channel, by the way.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah, because you actually bring people.
Chuck's over there like.
Yeah. I feel real fortunate. I agree with, I think it was Matt. I forget who said it exactly, but man, about the community, and I have definitely felt included. And thank you so much, everybody, for everything. Enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you. You too.
Can I ask the panel a question, a comics creation question?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Since you were talking about page turns earlier, and a situation that I ran into on my last compilation. You have all your single issues with your nicely thought out page turns, right? And then you go to put them into a graphic novel, and it throws it off. What do? Do you add extra pages or what?
Advertisements.
Art print.
Art prints.
100% add something in there. That way your
Yeah.
left-hand side and right-hand side pages always stay the same. Especially like if you're going to like for us, we did Misfits Clubhouse and we released a Kickstarter version of it. It's going to also be coming out on Scout, and we have to let them know, hey, the odd number pages we're sending you fall on the left side, the even numbers fall on the right, or vice versa, so that they don't print it accidentally the wrong way too. Because like Chuck said, the page turns, you don't want the page turns on the left-hand side because it throws the whole book off.
Yeah. Well, so the way I explain page turns to a lot of newer creators when I'm working with them is that it's like commercials on a TV show. So start watching your not streaming shows, but go watch like a half an hour sitcom or something, and you see they build up to that moment where they go to commercial. They always know where their commercials are going to be. If you just started putting that commercial in random spots, you're completely fucking up the flow of that show. And so it would be the same thing with your book. So if you have an opportunity, just put an art print in there or some kind of title page or something to allow you to keep up that flow. You built it in a very specific way. Try your best to keep it that way.
My biggest thing was I had a double page spread, and I was like, I don't care if everything else is screwed up as long as my double page spread is together.
And I find also with page turn reveals, it can be very beneficial, especially for horror, I find. But for any genre, to have, and I learned this looking at Junji Ito, who's a master of horror comics, manga in his case, to have the reaction to what the page turn is going to be revealed on a little panel on the bottom right of the page coming up to it. So you can see what the character is reacting and then be like, oh, what are they looking at? And you turn the page and, oh my God, what is that? Right? So having it build up in that way can be really helpful.
Oh, Christian, you're muted. I think Greg might have muted you because of the wind for a second.
The wind.
You just unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just muted you because of the wind.
I wanted to add to that conversation that you should never be cheap. You should never compromise your story because you're trying to save a 4-page spread or something. If it's a saddle stitched. And I see a lot of creators do that. Like they'll buy ads to save 25 cents, maybe a copy. I don't think you should do that. I think I'd rather just charge more and make a better product.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're doing a graphic novel of multiple works, you could also just separate them with that cover art from the original. That'll reset it too. Like that's another way to kind of add that. And if you need a page to make the cover art on the appropriate side, then you can share concept art. You can anything that you worked on for it would be a good way. Like, and that's also like a bonus. Like, oh, the graphic novel, it comes with additional clips. Like there's like nonfiction books that do that. They'll be like, oh, this is a story of my life, and in the center there's a bunch of photos just for the looks. So you can certainly do that, like in a comic book for the extra page. Yeah, mapping your world. Yeah, I like the stuff that Timothy was showing earlier. Like that's excellent.
All right, I think I got to get out of here, guys. But thank you so much for what you've done for the community and for me personally. I really appreciate all the opportunities to work on Sierra Chronicles, and I'm really looking forward to continuing that. And congratulations on your 100th episode, guys. I can't wait for 100 more.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day, everybody.
Have a good one. Yeah, it's true.
Chuck, Matt, Christy, Dave, Dillon, blah blah blah.
and etc.
That's Trish. I'm awful with names. Awesome sauce. Hey, Mike. Sorry, I'm doing stuff with Kickstarter, getting stuff.
You're particularly awful with names when the names are below everyone's faces. I love you, Mike, but I had to talk shit.
It's like we gave you a hint or something.
Dwayne, you want to talk a little bit about your Kickstarter since you are like our main guest that we had?
Yeah, we can talk about my Kickstarter. I was just listening to everybody, because I'm still like the new guy, so I don't really know anybody, so I'm just enjoying the conversations and stuff. But yeah, my Kickstarter is called Salvation. It's about the main character. His name is Vaughn. In his world, he's what you call is a relic, and basically a relic is someone that is born with demon blood. And he was given a mysterious mark on his right hand that he's looking to get more information on it. He feels that the only person that can actually give him the information that he needs is this powerful shaman named Solomon. So in the first issue, or issue 0, he's actually in search of him and trying to get more information on where you might be. And in issue 1, he actually finds him, and he gives him the information on what his curse mark is, along with more information. And it's really an action horror story that it's going to be a lot of issues going in. My brother, he's the creator of it. I'm the artist. We have tons and tons of awards that we're going to be having that we got available now, and we're going to be making a few more as the thing goes on. But yeah, it starts out really it's a great way to kind of start the world, because the story starts kind of in the middle, and then it kind of, in the first issue, it kind of really explains the world in a broader view. So yeah, I'm super excited about the series, and yeah, that's the Kickstarter.
Is your Kickstarter running right now, or is it upcoming?
It's available. Yeah, it's available right now. Yeah.
The link is in the comments.
What was that? I can hear you, Greg.
I just put the link in the comments.
Oh yeah. It's available now. So far, we're doing pretty good. We got, I believe, the last time I checked was 20 backers. We started 22nd, so it's a little slow. We always kind of have like a little bit of a slow moving, but slow motion is better than no motion at all. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's pretty much the whole kit.
That's what I tell the wife.
That's what I tell your wife too.
Nice!
Oh, he just.
Sorry, you just set your.
Wow! Shots fired! Shots fired! That was excellent.
I can tell you, the thing that freaks me out is right before Christian said that, I'm like, I could say that's what I told your wife too, but no, I'm not going to go there. As soon as my head stopped that thought, Christian said it. I'm like, dang man.
What kind of asshole would say that?
But on a serious note, like I do have like a question, because I wanted to ask a question about storytelling.
Oh.
Basically, I was reading a biography in chronology of Alan Moore's career, and there was a lot of quotes from him from previous interviews. And his strongest works, he felt, early in his career were V for Vendetta and Watchmen. And the reason for those being that they had ideas underneath them that they were conveying. One was about totalitarianism, the other about Watchmen, I guess, about global politics to some extent. And there was like ideas. And then he mentioned that some of his most popular works, like The Killing Joke, were very popular because they're mainstream characters. But he said he liked that the least because it was about nothing. Like, to him, it was just, yeah, okay, it's an interplay between characters, but there's no ideas conveyed underneath. So I see a lot of like these Kickstarters and like comics that are like superhero based, and that's okay. But I'm curious to know each of your perspectives about that concept of like, should we aim as writers and artists, preferably like combined, or like as a writer, as a plotter, should we aim for some sort of dialogue underneath the story that's deeper than just like people punching each other?
I'll say, at least in my opinion, I think that most like works that are long-term remembered, right? There might be some famous stuff that happens in the short run, like, that's what, trends and fads are, but the stuff that is like the lasting work is the stuff that has deeper meaning, that isn't thrown in your face. It's just really good storytelling, right? So when there's lessons in books, like that's why I like like Fahrenheit 451, like a classic, right? Like it's not thrown in your face what government entity they might be referencing or what political party they might be referencing. It's specifically an idea that they're portraying in a really good story format. They intentionally take it so out of realism, like firefighters who start fires, right? They're taking it so far out of realism that you're not stuck on what they might be referencing now. They're just trying to build an idea in your mind. And there's a concept that politics is downstream of culture, and culture is built through entertainment, right? And entertainment is obviously in the hands of the creators. And so the excellent creators of our time who want to put forth a message, the best way to do it is in storytelling, but obviously the best stories are also the ones that it's not jammed in your face. I think is that, if you want your story to be, remember we were talking about legacy earlier, then you're going to want to have some deeper meaning, right? Like even in our comics, one of our characters we were going to kill off, and we're like, no, like the part that makes him, interesting, even though he's going to be an evil character, the part that makes him interesting is the part that makes him human. And so by really like showcasing like these are the things like that's why so many people love the Joker. Like not the Joker in general, but even the most recent Joker, like it shows you a tormented man and what that can do to you, right? And like that's the type of stuff like that people want to like think about and develop. And you can only really do that in these surreal stories. And so yeah, absolutely, I think you should be putting something in your story that's a little deeper than just, bad guy, or good guy punches bad guy.
And I would actually completely disagree. At the end of the end, here's the thing though. Importance is what's important to you. And at the end of the day, really, this is entertainment. We're trying to entertain people. We are all in the entertainment business. And so I get that for Alan Moore, it was really important to discuss these really super important things and have these. That's great, but that's not necessarily what people want. A lot of times, they just want people punching faces and they want to escape and get away from all of that shit. And so, I think to have to force some kind of importance onto everything you do, like, can you imagine if all of a sudden fucking Garfield had to be talking about world history and politics and all that kind? No, but Garfield is fucking iconic, and he hates Mondays and likes lasagna. Like, how does that even fucking matter? It doesn't, because it's fun and it's entertaining, and everything has its place. So when you want to go important, yeah, take it seriously and really think about how you want to do those beats and all that. But I think that feeling like you have to do that every time, I honestly feel like it's going to be soul sapping.
I do agree with that. I agree with the not every time part, because ironically, it's so funny. I haven't thought about Garfield in forever. A week ago, I started watching the cartoon on Netflix really, really randomly. But the interesting thing is, like, yes, most episodes are him being fat, lazy, and all that stuff. But the point is that of every couple of episodes, there is a family value interest to it. So yes, I agree. That's why I meant by like it shouldn't be slammed in someone's face. You absolutely, but like the difference between like One Punch Man and Dragon Ball Z. One Punch Man, people love it. It's like the over-the-top anime where obviously he's breaking all the he's overplaying like the superhero, right? But then there's Dragon Ball Z, which is an iconic thing that will be around forever. It's got a Macy's Day float, and that teaches a lot of lessons about friendship and family in it. And yes, every episode isn't like that. There's some episodes forever, right? Like, but yeah, so I agree that especially if it's a series, you don't need every single part of that series to be a lesson. But if you don't have lessons, it won't be memorable. Like we remember those lessons. That's why, like the Odyssey, the most what was it, a 2,000-year story that was never written down until eventually it did. Like that's why it was remembered, was because of the lessons in it, not because it was just a great story.
I think
the thing I was gonna say was, I'm sorry, again, man.
No, go. You.
The thing I was gonna say was another thing that's most important too is that you got to have characters that are relatable, something that you can feel with the characters. So when the story starts, you know, it may not start right from the beginning, but as the story goes on, it might be something that you can like, yeah, you know what, I always kind of had that problem, or you know, oh, I really do feel like this character. For the take my example, you know, my character that I was just talking about, my character Vaughn, he's a very tortured soul, but he's still a nice person. And that's one of the things that we kind of wanted to talk about within the story without talking about that in the story, is that he goes through all these trials and tribulations, but he doesn't change who he is, even though he has this demon blood and people look at him as this evil person because of it. He doesn't portray that at all. He's still a kind person. He's still caring. And, you know, so, you know, things like that is something that people can relate to. You know, people go through many bad things in life, and there's some people that can, you know, dive into that world of negativity and let that take over their whole personality and change who they truly are. But there are some that are strong enough to go, you know what, I'm having a bad day or I'm having a bad year, but I'm going to continue on and be better for it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think having characters that are relatable is very important.
We have a mantra with everything we do at Insymmetry Creations, and that's we want to create characters people can relate to and universes people want to escape into. That doesn't say what the characters are or why they can be related to or what the universe is, and it kind of slots right in between what Chuck and Dillon said. Let your story be your story. Let it have integrity. I'll give you a quick little excerpt from the music world. There was, back in the day, there were two bands, Mortification and Deicide. And people used to say Mortification and Deicide need to tour together because they're exactly the same band. One was overtly Christian and one was overtly satanic. And the reason why people would say this about them is they felt like at the time they both put their message over top of what their art form was. And they felt like they were compromising the art because they were so intent on getting their message out there. And I think that really plays into what Chuck had said, is that if we all are creating and we have got a message that is so overt and the art form and the way that we actually tell it is compromised and becomes a secondary to the message we're trying to get out, then it becomes forced, then it's only going to be appealing to a very, very, very small group of people. You want to make sure that what you are doing has so much integrity that people don't care what your message is, because they want to be a part of that book because they love it so much despite the message. Think about today, we are so segmented as a population about, I believe this, I believe that, I'm on this side, I'm on that side. We don't care what side anybody is on. We just want to write a good story that everybody can come together and enjoy at the same time. And that might be the only thing that people need to be able to unite.
Yeah. What I wanted to say on this topic was, I think it's perfectly fine to have a worldview or a message communicated through your work. I think the most important thing to put out good work is to have it be something that you're very excited about and that gets you really pumped, and like you can't contain it because this is the thing that you really, really want to tell. For Alan Moore, communicating his worldview is what gets him pumped. So that's what he feels is going to be his best work. If it's just, you know, a story that you thought was really cool, and you can't stop thinking about it, I think that's the perfect reason to tell that story. I think the only time you're ever going to really go wrong is if you're letting like market research dictate what your next work is going to be. And I've heard some creators be like, what you need to do is you need to survey all your readers and see what their favorite thing is, and then make a book based on that. And that's how you'll be successful. I think that's the worst advice you could give, because if your readers all ask for something and it's not something that you really get jazzed about, you're not going to put your heart and soul into it, and it's going to show on the page.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to agree with, the fact that I think my belief is that most people who are very passionate about a story, it's because there's some underlying value. It doesn't have to be super dividing or anything like that. It's just that typically, like, that's what I meant about like the One Punch Man versus Dragon Ball Z. Like, there's people that live and breathe Dragon Ball. Like, I literally got into weightlifting because of an anime, right? If I work out more, I can get stronger, right? Like, if I get stronger, I can help defend my friends, right? Like that's something that's a very valuable lesson. And even if it's simple, like I think that's the key, is like it doesn't need to be some like huge profound thought. It can be as basic as, treat your friends kindly. You know what I mean? Like it could be that kind of basic. Like even Rick and Morty is an absolute nonsense show, and yet there are values that each of the characters portray, and the only reason that the writers can give you that value is mostly because of the fact that they care a lot about that subject they're talking about. People love Rick because he's extremely intelligent, can basically do whatever he wants, and he gets to tell people to F off. That's like almost just the value of like freedom, like not being restrained. Then you have the Morty that, even though he's stupid, like he's very caring about his family and other people. So like each of those is valuable in their own.
I kind of think it's kind of funny with the whole fear thing, like you were talking about being fearless, like Rick is fearless. It's so amazing to see how many people are in fear, and people are like, well, it's this thing and that thing. I'm like, no, people have like gotten into helicoptering so much, and this hypervigilantism, I guess, not vigilantism, but like they're hyper vigilant all the time over the stupidest shit. Like, okay, so some of you guys know that some of me or my friends, my account got spoofed, right? Didn't get taken over. I still have my old account. Everything's fine, right? So some of my friends just were on it, and they're like, hey, is that you? Did you make another account? And I said, no, it's fine. I didn't make another account. Oh, let me go fuck with them. That's how some of my friends were, or some of them reported it. It's like, but there were a couple of friends that reflected back to me. They were like going, oh my God, are you going to be okay? Be careful and everything. It's like, dude, the guy is not showing up at my house with a gun. Just fucking report him, block him, or fuck with him. I don't care, And some of the shit that my friends have sent to me as screenshots were fucking hilarious. But I decided to take that and instead say, guys, if there's like a thing about me and everything, I just want to let you know it's not true. Just like put it up, say, hey, somebody tried to spoof me. And like, what the funniest thing is, how that person tried to spoof my account was they put hippie peace birds on it. It's like, I am not a fucking hippie peace birds shit. That this is fucking fake.
I don't think people understand that Christy Shin is probably the worst person to mess with, because if you mess with her, it is going to be of epic proportions. She got some phallically challenged individuals that had sent her pictures previously, and let me let you know this: that individual's phallically challenged self was then rebroadcast multiple times, even to people who probably didn't want it. Because she was like, hey, if they're going to do this and they have this issue happening, I'm going to make sure that I get my money's worth out of this. They thought they were going to harm me. I'm going to show them who's boss around here. And it is normally Christy Shin, a.k.a. the Demon Bitch.
Yeah, I mean, people call me Demon Bitch, even though it's after a disgusting character. It's like almost a compliment, like, Demon Bitch, Demon Bitch, Demon Bitch. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just like this weird sort of thing where we kind of have made shit so unsafe in our heads. And it's like, the guy just spoofed your account. Just announce it, make fun of it. And if your friends ask you, just tell them, yeah, either block or delete it. But if you have some of my friends that are assholes, they'll just go like, oh, gonna go fuck with them now. Let me see what happens. So it's just like, it's just like, have fun with it. Even with those pieces of shit that try to go and spoof my account, just use it to make yourself more popular and do it in a way that's humorous. So yeah. I don't know if Kristen said anything.
I think Kristen wants to talk, but
Kristen,
he's on mute.
Muted.
And yeah, so it's a little loud here, but I will have to step off. Fantastic discussion. I wanted to just add one other thing that I learned from that Alan Moore book. And he said all his scripts are generally a first draft. And that's the reason that he structures it like so thoroughly. And like if you've ever seen like that big page that he did for Big Numbers, where like he charted over 12 issues like every character's motivation. So I just wanted to kind of lay that on you guys as writers, that like, especially with comics, when it's serialized, every draft, like every issue is a first draft. So what you do before is like paramount in terms of preparation. And that's something that I definitely consider if I'm serializing something. I wish I could stay for this discussion, but I have to get on the train and everything. Love you guys.
Me too.
Congratulations on 100 shows.
Thank you.
Nice
all the
talking to
best
you,
with
Matt.
all you guys. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the wife burn.
Oh,
that was good.
damn.
That was good.
That'd be funny if I said that.
Tell her hello. All right. Bye.
Which is kind of funny. I've had a lot of girls hit on me too before. It was great. It was great. It's like, yeah, there was like, I mean, they were really cute girls, but I was just like, sorry, honey, no, I don't go that way. And they're like, well, you haven't, no, honey, I did a bunch of stuff in my 20s. I've been there.
Ooh, Travis Gibb coming.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the first 5 we talked to. I don't remember. Was he number 3?
No, he was 8 or something. And he said,
So now I agree. We should shut down the show.
I don't know. We got the stupid kids, and I started laughing during this whole touching back story. I started laughing because
yeah, he was episode 7 or 8 or something like that, and then he's like, I won't come back until you watch Terminator, because I didn't watch Terminator before that.
Oh, I don't mean podcast. He was one. I forgot that though. He was in the early podcast. I mean, he was one of the first people we chatted with though too.
Oh, yeah, around there. Yeah, it's probably the 6th person or something.
He's like, yeah, not number 5, probably number 6.
Yeah, you guys got any other questions? Trying to wait for Travis.
Matt looks like he's deep in thought.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Well, I heard that this was the people still waiting for Dog Days meeting. I heard you guys meet yearly, and I just wanted to pop in.
I don't think that's a thing.
The annual board meeting.
the yearly meeting just to complain about it, or is this people waiting for Ink 2? This is Ink 2. This is SeerNova.
So you missed it. The meeting already happened. Somebody said, "Has Dog Days happened yet?" The reply was no. Okay, next topic.
There. Glad to know.
Yeah, we talked about what I do to unsolicited wieners and spoofed fucking profiles.
Isn't that what Demon Bitch is all about?
Yeah, well, I mean, yesterday, I don't know if you saw, Travis, on my Facebook, but somebody tried to imitate me. And the thing that they fucked up on that my friends knew that was actually not correct, and they knew it wasn't me because there was hippie peace birds all over my fucking avatar. I'm like, they know not into that shit. Fuck that. So all of them were contacting me and hey, did you make a new profile? I said, no. And they said, okay, I'll go fuck with them. Thanks. I just went and started fucking with them.
Nice.
So you had a Kickstarter, and then you're gonna have another one very soon. So yeah, how was Granite State Punk?
Oh, yeah. I'm only here for a couple minutes. Sorry, I just wanted to celebrate the 100th. To be honest, get rid of the kidding. I have two books out this month actually. I have Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, which is a huge one. And then I partner with the Collective, and I run the Collective. It's their book, but I kind of run it. Arnstrom runs it on the back end for Tales of the Collective 2. So that's going to be launching on Monday, and then not Granite State Punk. Cthulhu Invades Wonderland is on St. Paddy's Day. So drink some green beer with us and celebrate big giant green monsters.
Is it going to be a bigger
Hulk gets smashed?
Is it going to be a bigger book than the first
Oz?
Oz? Yeah.
No, one page smaller, just because we wanted to piss you off. It's blank white pages and one page smaller. Yeah, always go cheaper to save money. That's a Kickstarter tip 1.
You could just put an ad there.
Yeah, it's 200 pages. It's ridiculous.
200 pages of ads.
all ads for other Kickstarters.
Buy my book.
Kickstarter book of Kickstarters that are going to be running soon or already expired.
a 3-page preview of Dog Days.
Yeah, and you have to release it after they've all the Kickstarters have been completed too. So you'll print it out. You'll hold on to it for a couple months. They've all completed, then you ship that out.
You know exactly how Orange Cone runs business. That's fantastic.
Or what you can do is that you could sell the copies that you already got of your book before you fulfill the Kickstarter orders. I've seen people do that too.
People do that a lot.
I've seen people do that shit. I'm like, why didn't you?
I want to make a Kickstarter book that only advertises crowdfunders that don't fulfill. we'll just call it Indiegogo. Oh yeah, I fucking went there.
It's like, oh, that's weird. We just got a copyright strike. What is that?
Did you see Ethan Van Syrem's response to people who asked for their money back for a 2-year-old book? It was ridiculously harsh. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade on the guy, but like, it was ridiculously harsh. Like, hey, go fuck yourself. Everyone else knows quality takes time. They're like, how about you stop doing, 5 videos a day, if it's a book. There's your time. It was
it's just like, man, like the public fights have been stupid. Like last week, I almost got into a public internet fight, but it's not with any of those guys. It was just like somebody trying to pick a fight.
Right.
Fuck knows about it and shit. I didn't want to like really publicize it, but it was just like, man, what? And I just ignored them and they got angry. I did like the thing that I normally don't do, and I ignored them, and they got madder and madder. I'm like, all right, whatever.
What usually
See, it works.
What usually pisses people off what I do is I usually just ignore them or just don't give a shit, but I like show that in my face, and then I guess
it's just Greg's normal face. It's resting, don't give a fuck face. Yeah,
that's my normal face.
There's like resting bitch face, and then there's resting don't give a shit. And then there's another one called resting murder face. Like people say, people going like, wow, Christy, what do? I think you have that resting bitch face. I said, no, I have resting murder face. I'm actually a very amiable person. Just don't annoy me and I won't kill you. Kind of thing.
As you're rolling up white plastic tarp in the back. It's
one of those things. It's like,
don't worry, it's for a show.
Like, oh yeah. I'm gonna do a Google search on fucking ricin. I wonder how that can happen. No, but it was funny. It was just kind of weird, and it was like, okay.
I just thought it was great. You're like, resting murder face, and then Travis Gibb is in the dark, and it's like you can only see his furrowed brow, and he's just like, yeah, I'm definitely not about to kill somebody.
You know what? Actually,
Go
on.
No, Trav, you just got here. Go,
please. I'm only here for 15 minutes. So
that's why you should talk.
Yeah.
Only here for 15 minutes.
I'm going to the AEW wrestling thing tonight, so I've got to drive to Orlando and all sorts.
Yeah, you're going to the pay-per-view, huh?
Yeah.
It could be an interesting show.
It looks good. It looks better than WrestleMania, so I mean.
Is that like their WrestleMania, or do they not have?
No, I don't think it's their WrestleMania. I don't know what they consider their WrestleMania.
I don't think any of their shows is their WrestleMania. I feel like as a smart company, they are promoting every show as if it's the most important show ever in the history of our company. And then 2 weeks later, they'll have another most important show, but they do a good job of making every show feel that way.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, that's the great thing about promotion, right? Like you have to do that.
Because I don't watch wrestling really anymore, but sometimes on YouTube I do see, like I saw like CM Punk's like return, and I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. But
I think I'm doing it backwards because I've already started working on a lot of the Kickstarter stuff for Belial 3, and I'm like, if you were gonna miss one, this is the one. It's okay to not buy this one. So I guess I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's better to buy 4 so you can get them all at once. I mean, that's
yeah.
You need to buy every single book of Demon Bitch because you have no idea when you're gonna need toilet paper again. Or fuel.
Yeah. We don't know the power can cut at any moment. You need some starter Kindle,
And you know what? Considering that like paper's gotten more expensive, this is a valued commodity right here.
Right.
And that's like 3-ply shit going on too, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, just don't get the glossy one. Yeah.
Well, I'm doing a hardcover. I think when I get past a certain point, so it'll be great Kindle too.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Knowles, I know we always get a surprise something in the last little bit of your campaign. Have I missed the surprise something, or is it coming at this last little episode thing?
So let's see what we've done here. So we So we did the cross promo with Drumsticks of Doom
Right.
that we just did like a couple of days ago. So we have that. That's going to be a metal trading card. We released the metal versions of the covers. The thing that we're doing tonight that was unlocked at 7,500, the campaign video that we had done with Palmer Productions. When we do our hour-long wrap for the last hour of the campaign, we're actually going to debut live the blooper reel version of that, which is actually longer than the other version. And yeah, there's some stupid stuff on there that happened during the filming. So that's what's happening during the last hour is we actually are debuting the blooper reel cut of the campaign video. So
I was under the impression that you and Matt and Steph were perfect. Like that's what Chuck said. He sent me many emails about how perfect you guys are. So how could there be a blooper reel? Or are you so perfect? You're like, people like this. We're going to say something funny. We're going to script a blooper reel.
They created the blooper reel.
I think you're going to have to watch to find out because it's going to be the most important blooper reel reveal ever in the history of Insymmetry Creations.
Wow. All right. Does anybody want my tickets to the AEW? I can't miss this.
I think the only thing he missed was getting closer and closer to the camera the whole time. Where like just start freaking people out a little bit.
I like Chuck's promotion idea of being like, "Oh, you could skip this one."
Yeah, right.
It's like seriously, like don't even get it. Like don't waste your time. You're gonna get lost. It's too confusing for you. Just wait till the next one.
The promotion strategy I might like to try is just be like super targeted. Like if your name is Mike Johnson, this is the comic for you.
I'm telling you though, with it being Belial, this is actually the kind of stuff that could probably work.
Right.
This is the worst comic ever. No one on the planet should ever be touching this comic. This is horrible. You could probably go that direction, and it would actually work for Belial.
Yeah, that totally could.
I'm gonna buy two.
Right.
I think you should only do
tell me what to
homages
do.
from like really bad book, like Ravager 2099, like the things that people like have hated over the years. Darkhawk's a big seller. Do a Darkhawk homage.
Do a Star Wars Christmas special homage cover for it.
I like that.
One thing I'm not gonna do when I'm promoting a campaign again is like hot sauce shots or anything like that. I destroyed my throat with that.
Yeah, you don't like gimmicks like that?
Pussy, massive pussy.
Did your asshole
Snort a line. See where you're at.
That's one thing. That's one thing we didn't tell you. If Chuck pops onto the live stream tonight, we'll have him do hot sauce shots for backers.
I'm pretty sure I'm working that night.
What? That's tonight.
With the corner?
I'm pretty sure I'm working tonight now.
He just used my tickets to AEW. I mean, he doesn't live in Florida or anything. He just wants to know that other people can't go because he has.
Greg, you could just do shots of V8. Who's gonna know?
There you go.
Right? Yeah, that's
From
good.
the beginning. Oh, this is so hot. Actually, I did that in that stream. One of them was not hot at all. It was like barbecue sauce, basically. And I was just like, that was the hottest one.
Did you guys watch the stream when Chuck decided he was going to do eat as many saltine crackers as he possibly could for us for backers?
I think so.
Chuck was like, okay, Matt and Steph, I'm going to let you guys guess. Do you want me to have 6 saltines or 7 saltines or 8 saltines? And we're like, of course we're going to pick the highest number possible. And Chuck went to eat these things and he's like slightly coughed in the middle. And it was just dust out in the camera, dust in his nose, and was like completely choking on camera. It was
the WWE like the.
You know what he should have done? You guys should have done the dumbass fucking challenge, and I'll tell you what it is: the spiciest hot wings plus cinnamon.
Oh, the cinnamon challenge is a big spoonful of cinnamon.
Yeah, but dude, both of them like put a whole fucking dump load on that.
So you eat like those waiver. You got to eat the waiver wings, and to cool it off, a big spoonful of cinnamon.
No, actually, that would actually be pretty dangerous. Just basically do the dusting of the cinnamon on top, like a pretty heavy dusting, and have them eat it at the same time. But you'll have to deal with the other additional, just that killer spice of the cinnamon, even alone. I mean, the cinnamon alone is not going to burn you too bad, right? But you put it on top of something already hot and you're suffering. That's just really right there. And then on the top of it, the fact that the fact that it's dry and it's like insult to injury. Just, God, I think of the worst things ever. But you guys got to do that.
for a stretch goal for ink too, I'll just do it the Tide Pod challenge. Just do that. If that's
right.
That's something.
It's like it's not as sweet as it looks.
You'd have to explain to people what the. You'd have to go back to 2018 and explain what the Tide Pod challenge was.
Wow, that's helpful.
Right. You know what though? For ink, you could do something like, if we hit this insane number, I will get a tattoo of the choice of backers. No, a backer choice tattoo.
Yeah, backer's choice. Yeah,
backer's choice tattoo, dude.
You have to tattoo yourself of Ink's butthole. That's the belly button.
Well, that's kind of awkward because ink is based off my tattoo artist. So he's like, wait, just let me get the mirror.
He's checking himself out while tattooing your ass.
Can't forget the dimples.
I think this spot needs to be a little darker. Yes.
I guess that's a good place to stop. So.
Yeah, right in the asshole. That's a good space.
So Tim Larson, I'm trying to think of the name of his book right now. It's a motorcycle book. I can't think of what it's called.
Mayfield 8.
What's that?
Mayfield 8.
Mayfield 8. So one of his things was there's a prostitute in the book who has names tattooed on her, and if you spent a certain level of backing, you could get your name tattooed on her back. So she tattooed everyone she's done on her back.
Oh,
nice.
I thought that was an interesting pledge level.
No, that's definitely an awesome idea. That's funny.
I gotta stop with the people in the comic, like you add your likeness to the character or something, because we're still behind on doing that because we remastered our first issue, and then I'm like, we still gotta add all these people.
Well, then sometimes you don't ask the artist whether or not they're capable of doing that. And I found some artists don't know how to do that, or they don't do it well, so they don't like to do it. That was something I was like, but you're an artist, just do it. And they're like, no, no, but you're like, you draw things, like just draw this person. They're like, no, that's not what I do. I don't understand. Like,
it's like we're gonna have to start over. I'm talking to an artist, right? It's like, listen, I draw monsters. It's like, yeah, it's my friend. Just draw them. Like, it's okay.
Like, okay.
I did show you this, Greg. I did. This is one of the cool promos we announced that. I'll give you an announcement since your 100th episode. We talked about it in a private group, but if you want to share my screen,
there you go.
Do it.
That is going to be for all the first day backers. We're going to give that really cool playing card, Cthulhu, St. Patrick's Day fun.
Nice.
I think he looks cool.
That's cool.
Matt's on the phone. Quick, unmute us, Matt. We want to talk to whoever you're talking to.
Yeah, tell them that you're on the 100th episode of SeerNova Comics.
Hey, my daughter just finished off in an undefeated college showcase tournament, so they were just giving me a little bit of updates on that.
Oh, nice.
And that's more important than the SeerNova 100th episode?
It's not. I'm literally still on the SeerNova episode, so I literally am multitasking right now while writing an article, while posting. So look, that just goes to show you have to be able to split your brain in multiple ways to be able to. So.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff's got to get out.
Oh.
Why?
I didn't see that.
Hey guys, well, I got some chores I gotta get done, but thank you so much.
Don't ride on the top of a car's roof.
Having me.
I miss you, Jeff.
Good luck with your stupid kids.
I'm working on it.
Have a good one.
All right, you have a good day. Nice to meet you. Stupid kids. It just popped up. I started laughing immaturely.
I like that SeerNova is bringing Dwayne out of retirement. I haven't seen him in a while. He messaged me this week. Like, it's great.
How Matt knows this when he drives us good.
Dude, so John and I, we did a cross promo, and I got the colored version of the final art while I was sitting in Friday night St. Petersburg rush hour traffic, and luckily I got a traffic jam on I-275 and was in stop traffic. And he's like, hey man, can you send me the image? And so I had to pull it up on my phone. I'm like, dude, I'm literally in stop traffic in St. Pete right now, but here you go. So this is literally a real world experience that he just had with me a couple days ago.
Right. I was on a show the other day. I was actually on my show, and I was doing some promo for a book that I'm on, and I was trying to run a panel for all these ladies, and I haven't told really almost any of you guys this, but I have some. I've been working as a story consultant for a potential TV show, and I got news about it while I was on the show, and he's like, "You got to look at this right now," and I'm like, I'm trying to give these ladies like all of my attention, and meanwhile you're like, dude, you got to look at this. And I was like, oh, all right, well, awesome, but I can't do anything about it because we're live. Hello.
Nice.
Yeah, we talked about Belial being like on Adult Swim or something.
Yeah, I still want to try to do that. Trying to get some time with Sean Barbour to talk about a script is difficult.
Yeah.
He's a busy man. Oh yeah.
That creepy pasta comic.
I drive for Babar or something like that. Yeah.
Or
Server. I'm fucking with you.
Server.
I'm just thinking Babar. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was thinking Babar, the fucking elephant king guy.
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was actually a pretty rad book. I think it was French or Belgian. That was actually pretty fucking cool. Like that book, where like when you read it, you're like, God damn, this was a cool book. Especially when they shot his mom in front of him, he's all crying, running the fuck away, like.
Are you the one who was like? Are you that one kid who was like the best part of Bambi was when his motherfucking mom died? Like,
bam.
It's definitely the most exciting.
Fucking eat everything. All sorts of shit, so. I mean, it's weird because like I grew up in California where like we did the whole like nature thing and stuff. I mean, we weren't in a hippie area. I mean, like they just taught us not to be dumbasses in nature, which is good. Like, don't fucking throw garbage out there. Like, leave only footprints.
When you see deer, speed up.
Trying to get in fights with bears, damn it. There would be more like mountain lions, but like like people with mountain lions and shit. They would be there. We would be familiar with those. But deer would fucking eat everything except the oleander. And when I went to Rome, I think I went to Pompeii, and they said, yes, one leaf for your husband, the second two leaves for your mother-in-law. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because deer won't eat oleander because it's poisonous. And it was used as a poison by the Romans in teas and stuff too. Kill people.
Wow.
I found that out much later. I was like, oh, I knew it was poisonous and it was used as poison, but they had a very dark sense of humor about it in Pompeii when I went on a tour with my mom. And it was just like, it was crazy. And so it's like the deer, I remember like having all those trees up where my parents used to live and in NorCal. And it was so funny because the deer would never do anything to it, but they put all the heavy netting on like this is like heavy netting because deer will fucking eat everything. And I kind of hate deer because like my mom like it's, oh, look at all the deer. They ate all my peaches and everything. And I'm walking around, it's like, oh, where did mom get these pretty little black pebbles? And she said, they poo everywhere too. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I was stepping on deer shit. I'm like, I mean, I just don't like deer because they're dumb and they're dirty. Like anybody that's actually hunted said that their asshole's cleaner than their head because of all the fucking vermin living on them.
Deer shit, assholes, end episode.
Yeah,
right, there you go.
Cutscene.
Yeah. So, like,
I think the funniest thing I've heard with deers is just I think one of my friends from high school had like 5 accidents involving deers, and one of them was like they stopped at plenty of time, and then the deer just ran into the side of their car, broke its neck.
They're not
just like with the. Like it's wobbling off its neck. It's like they're so stupid.
It's just like, and it.
Yeah, just freaked out, and even though it wasn't on the side of the road, just ran in your fucking car.
It's like, oh no, you missed.
They're really kind of not very smart creatures, and supposedly they have better eyesight. So I don't know what the fuck that's about. Like, even if they like say, oh, they have poor eyesight, you would think that how they're wired, because to avoid predators, oh, big thing rushing at me, I should go the opposite way. No.
But it's the lights, though. I think it's the lights they love, like the claw. It moves, like they're just like drawn to it.
Go to the light. Go to the light, Carol Ann. Go to the light.
I remember like a minivan, like they hit a fawn by accident. One of my friends' minivans hit a fawn, and I know that's sad. I'm not rejoicing over like I'm hitting a baby, but it's just like over the progressive years, I've realized that a lot of them are fucking dumb. What those things. Anyway, sorry I interrupted somebody.
No. You were on topic.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna talk about moose or something. So.
Yeah, something stupid.
Well, what I was gonna mention though, since it is your 100th episode and whatnot, it's easy to ask stupid questions like, "Who's your favorite guest?" and that bullshit. But what I would say is, since you guys are primarily watched by a lot of creators, and we have a lot of creators who are just coming out and just starting to do like their first podcasts and stuff. What do you guys think, having done 100 episodes, what do you think are the best traits of a good interview as far as the guest is concerned? So what kind of things should they look out for and maybe consider when they're going to sit down at a prestigious podcast that's hit 100 episodes?
Prestigious.
Do you mean like what's good advice for the guest, or what's good advice for the interview? For the guest.
For the guest.
Be interesting.
Yeah, and like talk. Don't just like be like me and sit there. And then and the host should probably actually just not be boring.
Like, don't do what Greg does.
Yeah, just like be interesting and talk about something other than just your crowdfunding campaign. Like, we want to like know more about you. We don't want to just be like, this is my link, and then it's like 24 pages. That's cool, but like, what about you?
Yeah, that's definitely probably the biggest thing. That's something like
our first couple episodes were mostly just that. Besides, like Travis telling me to watch The Terminator, and he won't come back until I watch that. So, yeah.
Have you watched it?
Oh yeah, saw 1 and 2 like shortly after. He's like, you have to watch this, or I won't come back on your podcast. Like,
I mean,
really?
you gotta have standards, Chuck. You can't just fucking go on a podcast and some idiot hasn't seen Terminator. I mean,
Travis, not to like write off that, but like I literally had the same scenario, but with a different movie. For anyone who's seen The Princess Bride, I use that as reference all the time. Like I just like a lot of the retorts I'll say are just from that movie. And one day he's over my apartment, we're working on comics, and I said something, and I realized he didn't respond to that. I'm like, I don't think he gets that reference. And I asked him, like, you ever see The Princess Bride? He's like, no. And I'm like, you need to get out of my house until you've seen that, because you're not going to understand any conversation.
You should have turned it on for him there.
You can ask Greg. I literally kicked him out of my house until he saw the movie.
That would be easier than any of the other chicks that I would know. You didn't go see Princess Bride, but he's like, get the fuck out of my house till you.
Well, because like it's different than like a random person or even a friend. I'm like, we're gonna be doing business together. You're not gonna understand half the stuff I'm talking about if you don't watch this movie. Like, it's gonna go right over your head.
You sound like his girlfriend. God damn, like you watch this movie, you will fucking understand me when I fucking do. You know, that's weird. Fuck. I'm saying that. I always say shit that no one else will fucking say because I'm a girl.
You need to go play Hello Kitty Adventure Island, or you're not going to understand.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, somebody called me Pikachu, and I said, well, at least you don't call me Hello Kitty. I'll fucking plug you. And we were all fucking with each other. So we were just fucking with each other because I was called, like, because he's a Southern white guy, and we were messing with each other on that. So like he took a lot of my jabs too. So it wasn't malicious. But I said, by the way, disclaimer, I'm not actually going to go kill him. So just. This is all jokes.
That's also good. If you're a guest on a podcast and you do threaten someone, make sure everyone knows it's a joke, because if it's the first time you're a guest on a podcast, they might be like, "Oh shit! Like where are they located? I'm going to need to call somebody."
Yeah, no, I was good. And they said, "Oh, the screen went dark on her."
I was like, "Oh."
I just hear screaming in the background.
But yeah, definitely back on Chuck's question about like being a good guest. Half joking with the, just be interesting. But seriously, though, something that I talk to artists a lot about is that, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to create art, whether it's music, comic books, film. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to create the same things that you create. They're going to be very similar. Maybe it's similar look, similar story, similar lessons, whatever it might be. And one of the things that's going to make somebody want to back your Kickstarter or buy your comics or your merchandise is how much they like you as a creator, right? Like there's already top tier, Hollywood elite creating movies, right? Like they're going to be excellent. It's going to be very hard to compete with them. And in order to compete with them, part of your story, like meaning your comic book story, is going to be you yourself, like, and your, what made this story important to you, because a lot of that stuff isn't going to be able to get shared in like your first couple of comics. They're going to want to learn more about you. And that's like a lot of the people that have been here tonight or today, well, it depends on where you are in the world. I guess it's still today for me. So, but basically a lot of the people that have been here, they keep coming back, and it's because they like Greg and I, at least to a little bit degree, or they like making fun of us. Either way, they like us in some fashion, and because of that, they want to return. And that's what you want to do for your fans. You want to make sure there's something other than just your comic that's interesting, because if that's the only thing that's interesting about you, like there's other good comics out there, right?
I want to state for the record that I never said I liked Greg or Dillon. Just recorded. I've never said that. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just saying I've never said it.
Just come out and say fuck you, Greg. That's it.
Second, until Ink 2 comes out, he doesn't remaster 4 fucking books. Like, give me an Ink 2. Him and I will never be friends or anything professional. There's things that I like, which is Ink, and there's things that I don't give a shit about, which is everything else.
Greg.
Yeah.
So, please.
I will let you know, Travis, that's also like I can't wait to get our second issue of Ink done. It's all written now, right? We're already on the move for that. We got to start getting the artwork done for it, and I'm super excited about that.
I actually asked him yesterday or the other day. I was like, when can you start the art? And he's like, July. I was like, cool, because I really want that out.
Yeah, Travis has already sent 6 death notes and death threats, and we're trying to get those final.
I've already commissioned people to write it myself. I'll just,
Yeah, I feel like a page up, and he's like, hey, I need somebody to write this, to draw this page.
I did.
By the way, I'm on page 10 right now. I'm getting there, dude. I'm getting there.
Thank you. Doesn't have to be hard. Just put ink on a page. It's.
Yeah.
If I don't understand it, just go. It's meta, Travis. You just don't understand meta, and then I'll feel stupid and I'll say it's great, because I just don't understand.
You just don't get it, man.
That's the name of the issue. It's meta.
It's meta.
You can also say Travis, you're from Florida, because everybody seems to say that. What the fuck?
Well, they do that with me in Texas, and I'm like, yeah, I live here. It doesn't mean I'm from here.
They say, oh, you're from California to me. I'm like, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, the weather.
All right.
Hey, I'm from Delaware.
I'm from Delaware. Who cares?
So I think we're gonna wrap it up finally. It's been 2 hours. So.
Yeah, had enough. Enough
you guys
Chuck
do
over here.
24-hour sessions on the regular?
No.
Oh, all right, never mind then.
He's like, I thought we had some champions over here.
Right?
They're pussing out, not me.
I was actually going to take you guys with me for the next couple of hours. We're going to watch a wrestling pay-per-view together.
Are you ready to rumble? Yeah, we already got a Comic-Con today. We might as well add wrestling to it.
Right, exactly.
Anyone go into a toy show? Car show? Something else.
No, but I am going to go door dashing, so you can come and help me deliver food.
Yeah, this is what I got right here.
This is my neighbor, Steve. He likes burgers.
Today he got a taco. Really threw me off.
Yeah. What is it, cheeseburger taco? Oh, nice. She looks like she's focusing.
Well, we can wonder what she's focusing on right now. I mean, she's chained to a fucking thing. I mean, this is the best thing ever, because now she actually has she has a place to live and to sleep, and yeah, that's pretty much.
She's very lucky.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I would like you to make, Chris, which would be great as an add-on for one of your campaigns. I would like a one of those Jesus like in this. The minute I see this, because I see it's long size, one of those Jesus tracks, for Demon.
Oh, the chick tracks. I actually got bored and I ordered a fuck ton of them because I said, I'm going to read through, and then half, like a quarter, like through one stack, I just said, I can't read this anymore. This is soul sucking.
I think you need one for Demon Bitch, and we start leaving it around, make them super cheap. You buy them in stacks of
That's a
five.
good idea. Maybe I'll do a chick track.
That is about the most sacrilegious thing that I've heard coming from the pastor. That is hilarious. Who signed you on, Travis Gibb?
I've never said I was good at being a pastor. For the record, I just said I was a legal pastor.
Maybe I'll go and like ask my friends instead of like, because I have already the fan art in the book, but man, maybe I can ask them to do like a chick track or something. Like just draw this little chick track and then just be like, hey, that's.
I have yet to find anyone on the planet who has ever been saved by one of those. Like someone read one and was like, this is going to change my life. I am going to give up sin because when I was pissing, I found this little track. I don't think that happens.
I was reading those chick tracks and it's funny because like he like actually hired black artists to draw for the black community version of it. It was weird. Like they just switched the pictures because when I got the chick tracks, I got like all of them, like a whole chunk of them. So they had the white community or whatever community, then they had the black community. So it was like, I guess it was the white and black community. That's the ones I got. And then I got the other one. They didn't even change the names or anything. They just changed the images and shit. And some of them were really drawn terribly. And some of them were actually really good. Like the guy that they hired to draw for the black community, I think he died recently, like a year or two ago. It wasn't that long ago, but he drew really, really well. I was like, why the fuck are you illustrating for this shit? You could be doing other shit right now, dude. Oh, sorry, I had the cattail. See here?
I remember finding one that said, do you like spiders? And it went from, Jesus also likes spiders. And it told me about Jesus. I just weird segue. Like, I just don't understand.
I was like, wait, what does this got to do with Jesus? Okay, I'm sure he likes spiders. Great, they're all God's creations. You're like, okay, all right, whatever. I'm confused now.
I mean, maybe if I found it in a spider pet store, like
maybe you could save the spiders. I don't know.
I've been spending the last couple of minutes now just trying to figure out what this was.
What?
The chick tracks that you guys were talking about. I'm like, what is
Oh yeah, Jack Chick. Yeah. He was located, I think, in like East LA. It's like near almost San Bernardino. He died like obviously a few years back, but I think they still have his store and shit. So it's like I just ordered a fuck ton of chick tracks. I don't know how they're going to continue on, but it's pretty funny.
So, Matt, since we're leaving, we should do something good for Matt. Matt, if you can get to 200 backers, which is going to be super hard, if you get 200 backers, why don't you go ahead and give that Cthulhu Invades Oz PDF?
You want to do that?
I mean, it's only 160 pages of original graphic novel get 200 backers. I mean, I think that's doable, right?
You know what? And you know what? You know what? If that's what you want to do, I think that's a great idea.
I think we should do because I think it's because you were at 8,000 at one point, right? And then people messed around.
Yeah,
this is unacceptable. We need to fight back. So let's go to 200 backers, which is easier to get than the money wise, and hopefully it'll translate to the money wise.
And you know what? I think that's a great idea. I can tell you this much for people that have never seen Cthulhu Invades Oz. We talk about that book at our table as much as we talk about our own stuff, just by having a couple copies of it there. Because people are like, tell me, what is this Cthulhu Invades Oz thing? And we get to talk about it. And the thing that I always say is it's one of the coolest anthologies that I've ever seen or been a part of, because the curator, being Travis, made sure that this is a single story arc. If he had team A and team B and he thought a story was going to go a certain way and it didn't go that way, Travis took it upon himself to write piece C to put in between there to ensure it was going to be a single arc. And people really like that. And I'm like, hey, there's a sequel that's going to be coming out in Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. And just knowing the intensity with which Travis puts into making sure that this is an arc, not just a bunch of random stories, really sells people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be day one backers that have probably come from myself and Steph and other people that have these books. Their tip was we're not the only ones because it's an easy book to talk about. So I really do appreciate that. I'll make sure it gets out here in an update here very shortly.
Yeah. Get that out. Let's see if we can get you 20 more backers with that. I think that's doable.
Sounds good. Chuck, you never looked better, Chuck.
Yeah. And if you guys, like, as a final, like, shitty plug, you can go follow my Kickstarter. It's not going to be up until the 22nd. But yeah, follow it. And when it goes live, it'll remind you, probably annoyingly.
Chuck, you got anything going on? You don't seem
yeah, I do. I've got Cryptic Hazes on Kickstarter for 2 more days. I edited that book. Really great mindfuck of a book. So if you like that kind of stuff, in the veins of like Memento, Monkey Paw, that kind of stuff, check it out. I've got Clarity Girl and Base Force with Chris Masma, which I'm a part of. I edited some pieces in that one. Checked out as well. And then I also worked on editing a piece for Cthulhu is Hard to Spell, Battle Royale, the 3rd book, so go check that one out. And then, of course, next week, we're going to be dropping Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, which I got to be a big part of, and I absolutely loved it, and I just love being a part of that book.
Does it have a lot of death and mayhem? Because
yeah, my favorite parts are being able to see the amazing stuff that other people are doing, and then being able to kill off and work with characters that I've been reading since I was a kid. So amazing books. You guys will love them. Check them all out.
And I let Chuck kill off the big one this time. I made him kill off someone. He was scared to do it.
I was scared to do it. I'm happy with how I did it, but I was scared to do it.
And that's why I had him do it. So when someone goes, "Hey, did you do that?" I was like, "No, Chuck did it."
There was one where I was working with Lawrence Hubbard, and he's a good friend of mine. He does Real Deal Comics, so it's about people in the fucking ghetto, and they do all sorts of crazy shit. And so I said, because like I said, there's this like what we knew that Lovecraft was hella racist, right? So I said, hey, how about them like fucking like smoking angel dust and like driving all the way across the country to fucking Massachusetts where they fucking have to deal with this shit. So I wrote the story, and he said, God damn. It's not like that long, but I can't talk about it that much, but it's really funny.
And Dwayne, if you want to like
to close it out, share yours, Dwayne.
Oh, okay. All right, share it.
Yeah, as the host of the hostess with the mostest, host with the most. We're all waiting, and then.
Can you see
it?
Oh.
Yeah. Good time too.
So this is the Salvation Kickstarter. This is the main character. His name is Vaughn. As I said earlier, he is the tragic star character. One of the things that I really wanted to do though is that a lot of people used to always ask me about was when we go to conventions, if some of our other character, the Nightfall Michael's Awakening character, his name is Michael Vash. If we were going to do like some kind of like crossover or anything, so I wanted to draw both characters together, and I decided to put it as an add-on. So we have Michael here, and he's a werewolf, and you have Vaughn, who's actually a demon. So this is Vaughn and Vash here. And then also I did another one with them together, and I called it Wolf and the Demon. So this is one of the cool new add-ons that we added. Like I said, we're going to be adding a few more rewards and add-ons as things go closer and closer towards the end, just to spice things up a little bit. But we have tons and tons of awards. My favorite award though is actually the T-shirt one, because you still get the 2 T-shirts, the variant covers, which is go back down here. For both covers, both comics, this is the top one is issue 0, and this one here is issue 1. Because variant covers was something also that people were asking me about for the Nightfall series. So we decided to do variant covers, and all of the variant covers are also going to be holographic as well. So you're gonna be paying, $16 for 2 holographic colors, which is pretty good for a price, if you ask me. And right now we are. I think it just went up actually. It's 4 something. It's pretty good. 413. So that's pretty good. We're just getting into the nitty gritty of it all. So hopefully you guys should check it out and back it, because we all have all of the awards we have already available. So we want to try to really ship that out as fast as possible. So we already have half of it already, just in case we are successful. We can start shipping it as soon as we end the Kickstarter. So yeah.
Noise.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and the other people that were on before.
I do have a question though for Travis though. Chuck, I think you're a wrestling fan too, right? Correct? Nope. Oh,
Yo, what's up?
It's you, Travis. Who do you think is gonna win the title match tonight?
Ooh. To be honest, I don't care because CM Punk's fighting MJ.
Do you think that's going to be a long match, or you think it's going to be short?
I think it's going to be probably the longest match, and I think we're going to see Jeff Hardy tonight.
And MJF, the best heel in the business right now.
Yeah, I mean, that match, I don't even care about the championship match. I really don't. And that's one of the things that AEW does well. Like, I really don't. I can't even half the time name you as a champion because it's so irrelevant because their stories are so good. No, but I gotta go. My wife is coming in, so I have to take off.
Run!
Can't let her know I was on the internet.
Much love to Heather.
I only get 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, fellas, I'm gonna have to jump too. I've got this article I'm posting. I got to get ready for our live stream in 5.5 hours. Got a bunch of graphics to make. If you haven't checked it out, go to tinyurl.com/errors TPP1. Like Travis was saying, we've been battling. We always have this weird thing happen in the last 48 hours where we have people back out or some rogue people and stuff like that. So we're always fighting to get back to where we were. And we need everybody's help to try and get there to try and finish this thing off strong. We will be on a live stream tonight, Steph and I, at 8 o'clock. We will debut the blooper reel from Palmer Productions from our video that's on our Kickstarter campaign. If you can't laugh at yourself, why should anybody else? So hopefully you guys will join us, and maybe Chuck will come on there and he will eat some kind of nefarious item, and we'll go from there. Congrats on your 100th episode, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Matt.
Thank you so much, guys, for having us on.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Nice
coming.
to end with that little cat shake in the back, too.
Yeah. That's Finn. He runs around like a moron. Anyway.